Okay, we're 10 minutes late, but you gotta love technology, don't you? It wouldn't be a Wednesday show, wouldn't be a wrestling podcast unless there was some sort of a technical glitch, and that's the reason why we're starting a little bit later than I'd like. But we got a lot to talk about tonight, and we want to give everything its full attention. So, welcome to another edition of the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. My name is Sir Owen. Joining me, as always, is Ashley.
Indeed.
So, if you are new to the Wednesday show, as I say every single Wednesday, this is the Hodgepodge show. This is the show that we talk about a little bit of everything. There's a reason why we call this the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. It's not called a WWE Popcast, a TNA Popcast, an NXT Popcast, Lucha, Ring of Honor. It's not called any of that. It's because it's a little bit of everything rolled into one. We're going to be talking TNA Impact. This is the show before Total Nonstop Deletion, which is going to be tomorrow night, which unfortunately, or tonight, depending on how you're looking at things. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss it live because I have to work. So I'm going to have to watch it after the fact, but I'm very much looking forward to it. Smackdown Live 205 taped. We'll go with that. Is what we'll call it for the time being. What Culture Pro Wrestling, UFC, Lucha Underground, NXT, Ring of Honor, and all the news and rumors from the wrestling world. So sit back, relax for the next couple of hours as we're going to talk all things professional wrestling. So, Ashley, what happened on TNA this week?
Oh, well, I came to the realization that the last two episodes, because if we're going by the fact that they're finishing at the end of the year in terms of what's being broadcast.
You are correct.
I know technically the final episode of the year is actually, in 2 weeks' time, which means it'd get broadcast because it's Sundays over here. It'd get broadcast New Year's Day. If we're going on the fact that if the contract expires on the 31st and they don't have to show anything that they were going to show after then, the final two episodes of Impact ever on Challenge are going to be Total Nonstop Deletion.
That's interesting you say that, is because I was reading a little bit of information before we got started today, and it sounds like in the UK they're not showing Total Nonstop Deletion.
Oh my God, are they fucking morons?
Yeah, news just...
People were complaining about the fact that, people are reading the spoilers for what got taped.
Right.
Apart from the little note that leaked out that the is it the Rock and Roll Express,
right,
are gonna be taking on the Hardys as part of the anybody can challenge them. We don't know a bloody thing about this show.
I know one thing about this show, and I think you probably know the same thing. You know about the second match, right?
Oh God, is it actually happening?
Grado is going one-on-one with Smokin' Joe Frazier. Yes, the boxing kangaroo.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about the Young Bucks. I thought we were talking about something that was... Wow.
So,
okay.
real quick, Ashley, what it says, Challenge TV does not appear to be airing Total Nonstop Deletion. It currently lists a best of 2016 special on December 18th. It'll be one of the last Impact episodes on the network. They will be airing Explosion, the two final ones, on December 31st, followed by a Hardy New Year on January 1st, where Broken Matt and Brother Nero will be looking back at their top moments of 2016. So, yeah, it's not even going to be airing on Challenge.
I guess they don't, because then they get viewers and then there'd be reason to have the show back on their network.
Why do that?
They don't want it.
That's
they don't want the fucking cursed thing.
Right.
Anyway, so we start off with a recap of EC3 beating Drake, defending his number one contendership. And Eddie's out saying, EC3 was the man, but if he wants to be the man, he's got to beat this man. Yeah, because we're doing all that shit to make it complicated. So it's basically just a video package hyping up the main event. Spoilers fucking bullshit. So we start off with Moose coming out. And of course, because it's not the Miz, it's a "you deserve it" chant that happens. And says, dedicated most of my life to team sports when you play for a prize. And now I've got the Grand Championship. It's the first big title I've ever won. I didn't do it alone, and dedicates it to the fans. And says that he'll be a fighting champion. Hugh Galloway. By the way, this, of course, was taped when he was still fucked up from Joseph Connors. And basically, Galloway's like, he says, I've been gone for a while, and you and me, Moose, we pass like ships in the night. Now, do you know, Moose? Do you know who I am? Bully Ray. No.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
And Moose is like, I know who you are. You're the man that interrupted me. You're Drew Galloway. So it's like, okay, so Drew's heel, right? And, the championship was made for him, but he got injured, carrying the weight of the company on his back. It was fucking Dave feeding him lines just from Seth Rollins?
It's before you left the company, so possibly.
Everything that happened so far with the Grand Championship is just NFL preseason. When Drew gets in, that's when the Super Bowl happens. And I think you'll find that's fucking WCPW. That's the Super Bowl. What is it? TNA is it like lingerie bowl or something? Lingerie Football League bowl, whatever.
I don't know anything. Puppy bowl?
The suspenders bowl. So, it looks like we're going to... Drew even pulls out a lighter and says, are we going to burn this bitch to the ground? Like, might as fucking well. Universal want to use it for Halloween Horror Nights in October.
This is true.
I don't even know the ins and outs of that. Owen does, but I just stated a fact of life. Fuck you, Drake.
Yes, 100% agree.
Interrupted. All this shit, which is actually a pretty good promo between the two, because we know how good Drew is with promos. We'll get to WCPW later. And Aaron Rex comes out and says, "Great to see you back, Drew." Yeah. And Drew goes, "I would shake your hand." Oh no, I think Aaron says, "I would shake your hand, Drew, but I don't want you to get injured again." While you were away, I became the first and best Impact Grand Champ until I was robbed by Moose. Yeah, you caught me off guard, Moose. And the thing is, was 3 seconds really enough to win a match? Per the rules of this fucking confusing title situation shit, yes. Yes, it is. Aaron basically threatens to sue the audience for ritual harassment if they don't stop booing him, and he's invoking his rematch. Despite all this bullshit, the match we actually get is a very well psychologically organized match. Because the first round, the judges give to Rex. But then, interestingly, in the first round, or as the round begins, Rex is wiping his hands on a towel. Back what we saw a few weeks ago with Jesse Goddard, and Jesse Goddard's going, my eye, or something like that.
Pretty much.
And so, basically, he grabs him sort of around the face area. Yeah, heelish tactics galore.
Of course.
The second round's over. Rex manages to win that as well. Because apparently these officials are like, oh, he's doing heelish behavior. Let's give him a mark. because this is a legit competition. If we had this sort of fucking cheating in UFC, I don't think it'll be like, yeah, give him 10 points. Eventually, though, it's basically too much. Hits him with the game breaker. Moose pins him and keeps the title, despite, you know, whatever the towel stuff. And apparently there was also a loaded punch as well. So I guess it was either the equivalent of brass knucks, or he probably had sort of like a thing in his fist to make it harder. Either way, Moose still fucking won. Good job, Aaron. Why the fuck did you leave the company? And why the hell did you join TNA? Because you're even more of an embarrassment now than you were in WWE. Should have just stayed on the indies. Seriously. Been much better for your health and your life. And people giving a damn about you, I'm afraid to say. So then we've got, you know, Eddie backstage going, I'm going to hold my title. Then we got some off-camera person interviewing Galloway. And now he feels about getting passed over for a title match. And of course, Galloway's like, oh, I blame the company. They wouldn't hold off the finals of the tournament for me. They put me at the back of the line when I come back. You know, I broke myself for this place. But I won't fly off the handle. I'm still a leader. I know what's best for the place, even if the company doesn't. Yeah. Remember that comment you made about, you know, some bloke called Baron Corbin, Billy Corgan, taking over like 2 months ago? Care to make any comment about that, Drew? Anything? Anything? No? Anything? No? So then Mandrews comes to the ring, who's apparently taking on Aiden O'Shea. Yes, the fucker's actually wrestling for a fucking change, rather than just being a backstage explanation for why the fuck Dixie fucked over Billy Corgan. And in somewhat of an upset, shooting star press is enough for Mandrews to get the win. Aiden O'Shea is pissed. Mandrews runs the fuck away. Let's hope we never see Aiden O'Shea again on TNA, at least in the UK. If he's on the best of 2016 package, what the fuck is TNA thinking? So then Shearer and Snow come out with straps around their wrists, preparing for the strap match. And Tribunal come out and have a much better idea because they're wearing shirts. But oh yes, it's the usual what the fuck are you thinking, TNA? So here's the rules. It's you have to touch the corners. But of course, this is a TNA ring. So there's 6 corners.
Right.
But you have to touch them all. Both people in the team must touch all 6 corners in succession uninterrupted. But if a member of the opposing team intercepts them at any one corner, they have to start all over again. It has to be one person that does all 6. Oh, no, sorry. Both people have to do all 6. So if one gets to 5 and touches it, but the other gets attacked, that doesn't count. So technically, there's got to be 12 touches of the turnbuckle to win. What the fuck were you thinking? Seriously. And then, of course, Tribunal basically want nothing to do with it. And they beat the shit out of them with the straps, and the referee comes out and says, "No, you can't use the straps in a strap match." Think about all the classic strap matches or dog collar. Yeah, admittedly, this is before the match has started and the tribunal aren't tied on. I guess that's his explanation, but he specifically indicates that you can't use the straps until the. I guess.
Fair point.
Fuck this match. Snow and Shiro win. Tribunal, good fucking riddance.
And they're officially gone because that was the last thing they filmed before leaving the company.
That's why I said good fucking riddance. They were shitting NXT, and they actually thought that they had a chance in TNA. They were fucked when they got paired with Al Snow. So then we got broken Matt Hardy. Oh, wait, something actually good on this show. Having weird dreams. Basically of Matt Hardy being a clown and stuff.
Oh, wow.
A cartoon Matt Hardy without a jaw all over the world, on like Big Ben and the Empire State Building and the Taj Mahal, all these suddenly buildings. And then Matt suddenly wakes up and is laughing and then starts shouting, "Apocalypto!" And I was chanting, "Hacksaw Ridge!"
I knew you were going there.
Well, I could have said Braveheart, but then I get flashbacks to Birth of a Nation.
The Beaver!
Dear God, that didn't deserve all the fucking hype. So EC3 is now backstage responding, to Eddie Edwards, saying, I don't believe in luck, but I believe in fate. Fate is why this company is theirs. Wait, has he got fucking shares in the thing? Is he part of Anthem? What? And Eli Drake shows up. For some reason. And EC3 says there must be a million things going through your mind. Why don't you say them? And he goes to speak, and EC3 just basically chokes him out like a bitch. And says, "No, you're not speaking." It's like, well, we knew that. We fucking knew that. There we go. Best bit. Because it's the Hardys. So Matt comes to the ring with Rebby and Nero and Maxwell, of course.
Of course.
Tonight is a special night. You've all heard the hype. In 1 week, I'll be presenting the most extraordinary event, the most extraordinary wrestling event in the history of the industry. So massive that Dixie could not promote it. So delightful that the McMahon man could not promote it. Even the Hay man could not promote it. Only the broken brilliance of Broken Matt could. 2 hours of Impact will be coming from the Hardy compound. All your favorites will be there. The Knockouts, Senor Benjamin, Vanguard 1.0. Yeah, well, apparently that's now becoming a thing because we're trying to go, WWE, please fucking sign us.
They don't need to beg for it.
King Maxwell will apparently be in his Impact Wrestling debut. He might actually be fucking wrestling. Are we stealing ideas from Owen Steen versus Excalibur? Methinks so. And the main event will be Tag Team Apocalypto. It wants to abandon their corn trucks, so welcome. Because it will be total non-stop deletion. So here comes Gregory Helms and says, if If there's something going on in North Carolina, I want to accept the invitation. And Matt's like, yes, I am looking forward to the obsolete 3 count to be in action.
Yes.
Oh, shit. And about 5 fans of TNA will get that reference. That's it. But that's what I fucking love it.
Comedy for 5 is still comedy.
If not the 3 count, maybe superheroes. And Gregory's like, hey, Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee are going to be there. And Matt goes, good, they will be deleted. And then Decay come out. Helms runs the fuck away. And Matt's like, and Rosemary starts speaking and goes, did you really think you and us were through? We haven't forgot what you did to us in the Great War. We can attack you from a place of strength. The Knockouts title was now in the hands of a demon. No, it isn't. It's in the hands of Courtney fucking Rush. Get it right. Now, they forced Gail Kim into retirement, destroyed her Warrior of Light. How the fuck is Jade a Warrior of Light? Who's smoking? Dave, what the fuck were you smoking? That's why you fucking quit. You're on too much marijuana. And Abyss says, I don't want to go back to Cameron, North Carolina. And Crazy, And Crazy Steve's like, hey, remember the last time we were there, we kidnapped the fucking baby. And all that apparently was for fun. Kidnapping kids is fun. I would make that Ring of Honor Final Battle joke that me and Owen would only get. But I just did. But this time they'll take everything. And Matt's like, I don't care what you want to take. I just want you to answer the invitation. Don't make such a big thing about it. You're free to join. But you'll also be part of Total Nonstop Deletion. I've just noticed the irony. Total Nonstop Deletion deleted from the UK television. It's begun.
Ouch.
And then apparently Gregory Helms is in the ring, making fun of Decay. And Matt Hardy gives him a twist of fate. Okay, this is awesome. Fucking hell, I love it. Then we got some video thing with DCC saying that their mission continues. Control through chaos. And are intrigued by TND. And will bring the chaos to Hardy's Apocalypto.
Telling you, it's the hardcore junkyard war that WCW did in 2000, except it's going to be a whole lot weirder.
So now Laurel Van Ness is in the ring with Maria. Madison Reigns on commentary for this one with Pope and Josh. Is it because she's writing this fucking shit now? Laurel Van Ness is... sorry, I don't want to be sick live on air, but she's taking on Ali. And Maria goes, my God, you're wearing boots and knee pads? You can't wrestle. Sorry? Fucking cherry bomb against some bitch that was shit on Tough Enough. And she can't wrestle. I don't care about your fucking pretense. We're not 4 years old, TNA. Learn to grow some fucking balls. Sorry. Been up for a while.
Indeed.
Yeah. It was nearly up there with Sophie Grace. And Ali's like, no, I've been training. And Maria's like, who the hell would train you? And Ali just goes right in Laurel's face and goes, Braxton Sutter. And Laurel is pissed. Probably because, oh, wait, she's from Tough Enough. Fuck you, bitch! So, yeah, Laurel Van Ness versus Ali. You know, the fact that Ali is having to wrestle badly is a shame, but also, even when she wrestles badly, she's fucking better than Laurel Van Ness.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about this fucking bitch? You know, think about all the women that are on NXT that actually have backgrounds in indie wrestling. Hell, look at fucking Ali. Look at fucking Jade. Look at fucking Rosemary. I'd like to see them fucking, but, you know, just look at them. Whatever. But, you know, Ali making out like she can't wrestle is a better wrestler than Laurel Van Ness is. Why the fuck did that company sign her? Chelsea, Laurel, whatever name you want to fucking go by, take their fucking money. Take their fucking money, go to a training school and get better. Seriously. There is a lot of potential in you, but you're not going to get anywhere with this fucking angle and these fucking trainers in this fucking company. Afterwards, when Ali gets the win with a reverse DDT, Maria's like pissed. Ali goes to basically strike her. Maria tries to attack her from behind, but Ali spins around, is like, come on, then. And Maria's just like, fuck off. And says that Ali will never touch her. For the record, please, Ali, where would you like to touch her? Can you show us on the doll? Did Maria? No, don't show us on the doll. Show us, because I'm pretty sure Maria must have had a WWE action figure. Show us on the WWE action figure where you want to touch her. And then as if this doesn't get any more fucking awkward, Ali's backstage celebrating with Braxton, and Braxton says, hey, Ali, you can do anything you want. And Ali goes, anything? And jumps up, kisses him. And then, you know, she's like, oh, and then bangs it, you know, walks into a car because she's so awestruck by her actual fucking husband.
Yeah.
Then we get the video package. Just this video package alone. Thank God they put this up on on social media and on YouTube, so you don't have to watch the rest of this fucking show. Because we just saw Apocalypto going fucking shit. You know, ape shit. Not in a bad way, in a really good way. Trevor Lee needs somebody to fuck in the head. Abyss is getting run over by a train. 59,000 people in DCC masks. Eddie Edwards diving off a balcony off Hardy's house onto Lashley. Vanguard 1 with Roman candles on it firing into a crowd. I know, this is the best thing ever. This could be show of the year in 2 weeks. Not pay-per-view of the year, but actually like individual show of the year. Holy shit. And then it gets ruined by EC3 versus Eddie Edwards for the TNA World title. With respect, it's a bloody good match. But guess what? Right at the end, fucking Edwards as a sleeper on EC3. But EC3 manages to bridge it back. And we got a pinfall. 1, 2, and there's some tapping. So Eddie Edwards tapped at the same time that he pinned EC3. So it is ruled that because the two falls happen simultaneously, the match is a no contest. Great match ruined by a fucking stupid ending. Where have I heard that before, TNA? Oh, wait, practically every other week. You know, EC3's pissed. Eddie's sort of pissed as well. The fans are pissed. The audience is pissed. Billy Corgan's pissed. I should be getting drunk at this point, so I'd be pissed in more ways than one. Way to give a great ending to the UK feed for TNA Impact. Now you end it on a fucking no contest. Great fucking job.
So I guess that's TNA then.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be talking total non-stop deletion.
I'm gonna get more enjoyment out of a fucking misprint edition of What Culture's Wrestling Issue 1 magazine than I am out of the majority of the last 2 hours of the Impact that will ever get broadcast in the UK.
Fair point.
Especially the 15 missing pages that are just blank. They're going to be more entertaining than most of the shit that was on the show. But although I could just probably get stills of Total Non-Stop Apocalypto and just stick them over the pages and it'll be even better.
Well, we moved from TNA after one little piece of information. Joining both the former Marcus Louis and Sylvester Lafore in leaving the company, actually, would be Tigre Uno, Extreme Tiger from AAA. Yeah. And he even changed his Twitter handle back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's TNA for this week.
Probably. I don't know if there's anything in the news from last week.
We'll find out. Let's move on to. We go from TNA straight to Smackdown Live.
Fucking hell. Yeah, let's fucking deliver. Yeah, we promised the titles match. We are fucking told that apparently Ellsworth basically has got the flu and that he's not healthy enough to compete tonight. So again, for 2 straight weeks, you advertise a title match. The first week for legitimate reasons. The second week, it's just because you don't want him fucking injured for House of Hardcore, you stupid pussies.
Well, to be fair, they took AJ off the weekend house shows too, so they want to get him. They want to make sure he's okay for the Rumble.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, AJ was pulled off the weekend injured. House shows. Yeah, he's still hurt.
He's still fucking injured. Good. So Miz TV happens with the guest AJ Styles. And Styles says, well, he's got chinfluenza. Is that like, I know there's bird flu, but is chinfluenza like chimpanzee flu or something? I don't get it. Either way, AJ's like, I'll destroy him sooner rather than later. And Miz goes, how can you sleep at night knowing you've got to defend your title against him anytime and anywhere? Styles laughs his arse off and says, wow, you're funnier than I thought. And Miz goes, your hair's nicer than a soccer mom's. And then Styles says, yeah, I want an endorsement for a conditioner. Anybody want to sign me up? That's brilliant. Don't even just try and make fun of Miz. He just takes it and fucking uses it. That's why Miz is like the second league compared to AJ. And Miz is like, so what's next for you? And AJ's like, hey, I beat Cena, I beat Ambrose. I'm probably gonna destroy James. So, you know, I'm the most prestigious champ on SmackDown Live. We need somebody. And Miz says, wow, I'm the greatest champion and longest reigning champ on SmackDown Live. And I'm just thinking, hang on, you won that belt 28 days ago. You openly said that in the promo at the start. I'm pretty sure the belt back in September, which, hold on, was 3 months ago? Hmm?
Yeah.
The WWE title is prestigious, but he's taken the IC title and made it legendary. No, legendary was that god awful Cena film.
Oh God. Yeah.
So basically, we start to get a face off between Miz and AJ, but then Ambrose comes out. And then Dolph comes out and says, both of you are paper champs, talking a lot of game. Neither could win without cheating. If Miz didn't have Maurice's skirt to hide behind, he could behind AJ's. So then they just have a giant brawl. But then basically everybody brawls. And then the Wyatt video interrupts. And then Luke Harper's in the ring, flattens Ambrose. And Luke Harper points to AJ. And I'm going, fuck! Luke Harper's in the main event? Yes! Fuck yes!
Would have been great.
Also, this makes Miz the odd one out. Well, actually, no. It's in essence, if you wanted to make it a tag match, it's Team Ohio versus Team CZW.
Yeah.
With a guy that's been in both Ohio and EC and CZW, watching on from the side. So then we got Shane and Daniel backstage, and AJ wants protection. So yeah, it's a fatal four-way elimination match. But if anybody interferes, they'll be eliminated, and the winner will face AJ on the last SmackDown of the year. And he's not happy with that protection, apparently. What, did he want a condom? I don't know. Did he? Hmm? So then we get Natalia versus Carmella. Natalia grabs a mic and says, I want to publicly tell you, Nikki, because Nikki's on commentary for this for some reason.
Oh God.
Says, I didn't attack you. I didn't want to do it like this, but you don't take my calls, you don't respond to my texts. And then Carmella's music hits, and we actually get a somewhat of a fucking match, which bloody,
They gave this match almost 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't
Why?
know why. I don't know why.
Oh God.
And Nikki Bella's just like, fuck you, bitch! I was like, oh, this storyline is still exist. So then we recap Cena on SNL. Apparently he's back in 2 weeks. So I guess he'll probably by default be facing whoever wins between AJ and the main event winner at the Rumble.
So
then we get fucking Fluffy walking up to Apollo Crews and talks about being on Tribute to the Troops. And Miz and Maurice make fun of Fluffy, apparently. And does a fake laugh at his own jokes, which, you know, Fluffy can be funny. I don't know whether he was supposed to be not fucking funny in this, you know, to make people go, oh yeah, please watch my show. The jokes are much better than this shit that Max Landis may have fucking wrote.
I love how you're referring to him
is,
as Fluffy.
I thought he is, isn't he?
Well, yeah, his name's Gabriel Iglesias, but I mean, I love that you're just calling him Fluffy.
Every time they do a fucking advert on US TV for when he's got a movie out, they just call him Fluffy.
Yeah.
They don't call him Gabriel Iglesias because it's like, that's fucking Mexican. Donald Trump will hate it. Get it off. Get it off. Call him Fluffy. The great thing is, Miz nearly says piece of shit.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know whether that was meant, because obviously Apollo basically, I think he like goes, you piece of, and Apollo cuts him off, so it may have been meant, but part of me was just thinking, I hope that was just natural.
That would have been great.
So now it's the number one contenders tag team battle royal with Alpha, Hype Bros, Vaudevillains, Ascension, Breezango, and Slater and Rhino. Which
I'm not happy.
I mean, who gives a fuck about people being eliminated? The idea is that the Hype Bros won, eliminating Connor. The great thing is, in doing so, Zack Ryder fucked himself up. So apparently he's injured and may be out for a while. So the winners that are going to get a tag title shot either next week or like in a couple of weeks aren't going to get their fucking shot.
Yep, pretty much.
Smackdown is fucking cursed. AJ's injured. Hype Bros or one half of are injured. We just got to wait for like Miz to get injured now, or whoever he's going to be in a feud with, or Alexa or Becky. There'll be some sort of fucking injury.
Right.
So then Alexa grabs the mic from Greg, kicks him out the ring, and Bliss says, you know, don't ring that bell yet. You know, sure, everyone's in the holiday spirit. SmackDown lies the land of opportunity. But I don't do charity cases. As she's taking on some unknown jobber.
It's Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, but they didn't. The great thing is if she asked her if she's Jane Ellsworth.
Oh, jeez. Okay, that's kind of funny. I'm
Bliss destroys her. Yeah,
right.
A woman that can actually fucking wrestle just gets jobbed by somebody that needs a lot more talent. You know, needs a lot more training. Seriously, if we had Deonna Purrazzo in the Harley Quinn gimmick taking on Becky Lynch, I wouldn't be complaining. Deonna's pretty much on that level. But nah. Then Becky comes out. You know, says, I was rude last week for interrupting, not being ready for the rematch. But now, I'm in my ring gear. You're in your ring gear. I want a rematch. And Alexa's like, no, Yeah, when the rematch happens, it'll be on my terms. And Shane says, hang on. That ain't how we roll on SmackDown Live. Player, holla, holla, holla.
Oh
He's
no.
black. Jay McMahon is black. So, yeah. Yeah. Alexa Bliss does have a championship rematch against Becky Lynch. And it's happening now. Ring the fucking bell! Give me a fucking mic! Becky wins by countout, basically. Alexa's basically saying, oh, she's tweaked her knee and whatever. Going out the ring. And Becky beats the crap out of her afterwards because of the count out thing. Rolls her back in the ring. And Alexa faked the knee and then stomps the hell out of Becky Lynch. Lynch makes a comeback and Bliss escapes the ring and runs up the ramp. Why the fuck are we doing the exact same angles for women that we are for men? Because I'm pretty sure this fucking happened with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens weeks ago. In a pretty similar circumstance.
Very
Except
true.
not faking the injury. We've run out of ideas. Randy Orton's on Shooter. In case you're wondering, Shooter is some weird porno. If you're going to come up with a name for a porno, Shooter could be one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, Shooter the movie wasn't that long ago. I mean, people should still remember that it was a movie.
Well, probably.
Okay, fine. It was 2007. That's a little bit longer than I thought, but still.
Everyone will go, who the fuck is Ryan Philippe?
Yeah.
That'll be the situation.
Like, who is Ralph Fiennes? Same people ask me that question too.
Wait, are we testing Alexa now on Amazon or bloody Siri on Apple?
That would be fun, actually.
Alexa, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I don't mean the TV show. I mean I want to know where the fuck she is.
Fair point.
The thing is, if anybody's bloody got an Alexa with them and they're listening to this on speakers, I might have just triggered it off. In which case, I apologize.
It's possible.
The Fatal 4-Way elimination is actually pretty good. Miz gets small package to be eliminated first. Then Luke Harper gets taken out by Dean Ambrose with Dirty Deeds. And then Superkick! Slightly not a party from Ziggler. And it's Ziggler versus AJ. I think for the first time. One-on-one.
They have met before, but I think you may be right. This might be the first time they faced off one-on-one. Hold on, I can to the interwebs.
It sounds, right.
No,
but
August.
Oh, they did go one-on-one, right?
It's on SmackDown. They worked in August,
right?
So they haven't had many matches, but it should be pretty good.
Yeah,
it's sink or swim for Dolph, though.
True. So yeah, and then we get Rich Swann backstage saying, TJ Perkins can't handle it because it was taped 24 hours before. Hey!
We'll get to that in a minute, Fonzie, and I don't mean Del Alfonso.
Not too bad a SmackDown show, but you can sort of tell that they're in not give a shit mode until Cena's back, and then because of course when Cena's back, That means we can focus on the Royal Rumble and forget about the Christie math.
Fair
I
point.
don't want to say they called it in, but 555 called it in.
Get fame. Anyway. So, I'd love that to have been a segue, but the way I set up the schedule tonight, we're going to go into 205 live next, actually, or 205 taped.
205 not live.
205 taped.
So we open up with Jack Gallagher versus Drew Gulak.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I need to know. Hang on. Where's the bloody notes? Because fucking Austin. I don't even want to talk about the match because it was just so good that you should probably catch it. I just want to make note of good old Austin Aries.
The greatest commentator that ever lived, invoking the spirit of Bobby the Brain Heenan every single time he comes out there.
To be honest, this was more Joel Gertner.
Ooh, that's even better.
Because he went, well, before they were wrestlers, Jack Gallagher was a juggler in the circus. And, Gulak has a circus background as well because, he was a trapeze artist. So you never know. After their careers are done here, they'll go back to juggling balls and swinging on poles. And there was like a 4-second silence from Moro and Corey because they're fucking corpsing.
Wait a minute, Ashley. Do you recall what Austin Aries said the first time for 205 Live? Barrow talks to him and he basically is like, yeah, so how's that contract situation going for you?
Yep.
I was like, Austin Aries, you're amazing.
Austin Aries reads Dave Meltzer.
Oh, it's possible.
He's too much in the fucking know. And that's why Triple H loves it.
I'm telling you, Aries is just, right now, he is telegraphing him being the world beater of the division. And I think it's going to be incredible when it finally happens. Speaking of that, Ashley, did we see that Tajiri's coming back next year? Officially now? There was like a video package during the show.
Officially confirmed, is it? Good.
Yes. Very excited about that.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a video package on this show, actually. Tajiri returns in the spring.
But it was a good match with Gallagher. We actually had a fucking match between Dorado and Ali. Oh, sorry, that's Ali, not bloody. Oh, wait,
Ali.
So that's Ali, who was busy stealing the fucking show in freelance wrestling, to some extent, which I didn't get a chance to see because apparently they're now charging for their shows. I mean, admittedly, it's only $5, but I ain't got $5.
Thank you. $5 is a lot when you don't have it.
But Dorado versus Prince Mustafa Ali. I don't know whether it's happened somewhere on the Indies. Probably has.
I'm sure it has.
But with the performance of both guys, they really did well. Dorado got the win, and then in sort of an upset, but not really, because look at the fucking graphics on his bloody entrance. T.J. Perkins beat Rich Swann in a non-title match. Of course he did. He's got the fucking title on his graphics. So again, good tension to build up towards a triple threat on Sunday. Overall,
officially announced. So.
Overall, I wished I saw this live on Monday, because that 4 hours of wrestling would have been more entertaining than the 2 hours of SmackDown and the 2 hours of TNA. And probably Tribute to the Troops, which we might as well get to now because I guess we're midway through, so we'll leave it for a bit.
Well, technically, I mean, it's on my schedule, so we could throw it in pretty much anywhere.
Well, we'll leave it till 55 minutes time when it's finished.
Wait a minute, it's going 3 hours?
We haven't watched it. Isn't it starting after? Isn't it starting live on USA after NXT?
It's currently on live
9.
right now. It started at 8, I'm pretty sure.
Wait, the dumb fucks ran this against NXT.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because
What
I'm
the
reading the
fuck
results
you
right now.
thinking, Vince? Vince, what the fuck are you smoking? Yeah, if you haven't got the network, why haven't you? You're a fucking idiot. Oh, wait, what tribute to the troops? If you're watching the network, you're a fucking idiot. Double standards, Vince. Seriously.
Well, okay, we'll talk about it
hell.
when it's done. So let's move on for our next bit of information here on the Wednesday show, and that would be, let's go into What Culture Pro Wrestling.
Right. Not too much from Reloaded from last week, which is, wow, the newsletter got put up early. Right, that might actually be on the board. That might actually be on the board. Refresh the page, mute it because it plays bloody music. There were two matches that they showed off. Obviously, the one which I've already talked about was Cody beating El Ligero for the WCPW Internet title. But they also had Doug Williams beat El Draco. I don't know what the fucking purpose of this match was, other than to establish that nobody gives a fuck about Brexit anymore because we're sick and tired of that shit. Although the best bit was an interview clearly done, like, who gives a fuck about Jack the Jobber, in which, he's he's feeling ill and everything after the attack. I've got a feeling somehow via the attack that Matt sort of possessed him, possibly in some shape or form, which we'll get to in terms of the explanation for what's to come on Loaded. And Jack's got like the bandage around his head and the blooded sort of tissue paper on the side of his head, and all that jazz. I probably said it like that for some reason.
I don't know why, but you know in your head, that's all that matters.
It's probably because Loaded is looking more and more like WWE, because now we keep getting Alex Shane and Dave Bradshaw every week talking to camera at the start of the show, because that's a thing.
Doesn't need to be.
Nope. So Drew Galloway starts off for a promo and says, the last time, and sits on the mat and he goes, the last time I was in Newcastle, Connor's nearly ended my career right at this spot. And I didn't want to leave on a stretcher, look like a wuss. I walked out that ring. Had to wait 2 hours for the fucking ambulance, but eventually sought some medical protection backstage, and then walked outside, snuck away, went to hospital, was in there for a few days, and then was basically in a body cast for like 2 months. But then the moment he was cleared, he came back. He got his title and he got his revenge. He's not been afraid to work his ass off to defend all the belts he's won over the years, whatever company it's been. And WCPW is no different. Cue Joe Hendry's music and says, my dream was always to be the first Scottish world champion. And you did that, Drew. Then the one which I really thought was going to happen was to be the first Scottish WCPW champ. But then you won, Drew. But in some parallel universe out there, your neck would still be broken and I'd be champion. The proof was in the pudding from everybody that watched at Delete WCPW. Joe had it won. And then out of concern for Drew, when Connors threatened to break his neck again, he went back in and lost it all. And he wants a one-on-one match to find out who truly is the better man between the two. And Drew's like, oh man, this passion, I love it. And then also notes that I've cleared out my diary. If WCPW is having a show, I'm going to be here. And TNA is going, fuck. But before we can start the match, Connor shows up. And starts off calmly by like going, you know, you can have a title shot all you want. But now you, Drew. Yeah. You know, you reached out to everybody with your pathetic life story. You've got no right to talk about me, my family, my fucking kid. You know, you don't know my story. You know, all of you don't realize this is my world, and everybody else, all of you, are just visitors. And throws the mic as if the equivalent of like a mic drop. And Drew's like, oh, I'm glad you're pissed. Because guess what? The truth hurts. And you know what? You're in your wrestling gear. Henry's in his wrestling gear. I'm in my wrestling gear. Triple threat title match right now. But yeah, the thing I'm worried now about Connors is he only gets his promotions over when he's shouting.
You're right.
If he isn't shouting, he's shit. Which is annoying. Because, you know, when I heard him do his shouting promo straight after Delete WCPW, I was like, man, he's good. But he just decided to shout again the taping the day after. He's like,
he needs to learn the balance between when to yell and when to take it down a notch, because that's the mark of a good promo.
If he wants to be like a cold, calculating person, who does he need to copy? Oh,
there's a lot of people he needs to copy.
Who's the obvious one?
Well, to me, it'd be Raven.
No. Who did the best at promos without ever raising his voice?
Well, obviously Foley, but Foley screamed.
No. Even he raises his voice.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Jake.
Oh, yeah, he's got to be Jake. Exactly.
Jake. If he can do it more like Jake Roberts and get these emotions across, but without being so aggressive, you know, still have that passion, but just be like, you know, I was there. Yeah, I could have broken your neck again. And some guy tried to save you and I got caught off guard. Yeah. You were all in my world. Everybody else is. Obviously it wouldn't work because it's an actual sort of in-ring promo, but if we had actually more sort of like to the camera stuff, if he did stuff like that where he was more sort of like could still get the passion but also sound like a creepy bastard.
Oh yeah,
it would work beautifully. Connors will not listen to this, but if he does, I just you know, when we get to the shows in 2017 for the tapings and whatever,
right,
try and take it down that route, because if you can do that sort of persona of, you know, this guy that's focused in on, do it sort of like an Eddie Kingston style Shikara thing. Admittedly, he was shouting as well at certain times, but you know, say it's like a possession. You know, that title is nobody else's; it's his title. You know, Drew stole it from him. I'm going to do everything in my power to take it back. And if you think you can stop me, you have no idea as to the lengths I will go to make sure I rule the roost in WCPW. Blompier, splice that, write it in a storyline.
See, the thing is, though, Ashley, if he can't deliver without screaming, then it's time to get him a mouthpiece.
Mm.
And the person that comes to mind immediately is James R. Kennedy.
Yeah, but he's. We'll get to that. That bloody storyline. Ugh. There's got to be other people. Not just James R. Kennedy.
Well, I know, but right now, that's all we've got.
Anyway, it's a decent, pretty solid triple threat. Nice bit with Galloway. The finish came with Connors went for the belt, but Hendry saw him off. Hendry then has the belt, looking for revenge, because obviously it's triple threat, so no DQ. Galloway drop kicks Hendry, knocking the belt out of Hendry's hands to outside. And gives Connors the Future Shock DDT to retain the title. But solid match. Then we've got Adam Pacitti backstage, basically singing down the phone, get well soon, Will Ospreay. Yeah. Or something like that. It was, I don't think it was in the Happy Birthday tune, but it was some sort of singing thing. Which was okay. Apparently that the club were out to destroy Martin Kirby. And Pacitti's got something up his sleeve. So during this time, when it's supposed to be sort of like a backstage sort of camera snipping what's happened, all of a sudden, bloody Swords of Essex decide to do a promo straight to the camera. Bloody Scott Wainwright and Nosferatu. For random reasons. I love the fact it's it's a shame you're injured. And I'm just going, he's on a fucking plane to steal the fucking show at Ring of Honor. Let's be honest. Twice.
It's true.
And then Jack is ordered to get Bea Priestley to tell her that she has a women's title match against Nixon Newell next week. Part of me is concerned for Jack because he still seems to be in bad shape after the attack. And also part of me is also worried because, oh, fuck. Are we actually getting a title change because somebody's going to the E? Hashtag goddammit.
You wanted it, man.
Because after everything that happened last week and this week and everything, it's holy shit. The exodus is happening, and not in a good way. Hashtag Shikara is fucked. I know they don't swear, but it's getting to a point where it seems as if a quarter of Shikara's roster doesn't exist in 2017.
Pretty much.
Due to other companies and people going elsewhere. Who knows? So then Prince Amin backstage wanting Kid to carry him to a local New Indian restaurant that's really good. So he wants him to quickly lose in his match. And Kid's come on, let's be serious for a minute. Why did you put me out there to face Johnny Mundo? And it means well, isn't it obvious? You're good at losing. You're the best at losing. You've got an anti-undefeated streak. It's beautiful. And then Kid goes, so how about that bit when Joseph Connors was about to break my neck and you came for the save? And it means keep asking me all these questions. I didn't want you to get a broken neck because then you can't carry me places. So with all this stuff, it's seriously okay, are we actually going back on all the promo stuff that we've seen over the last couple of weeks? And then it's rescued by this match between Gabriel Kidd and Doug Williams. Because the great thing is, Doug Williams won, but Gabriel Kidd actually won. Doug put somebody over by winning. Again. Doug did win with unseen to the referee, despite the fact I would swear the referee clearly could have seen it from where he was, with a steel pipe strike to the head. Damn good match between the two. But then Amin's like, there's a pipe here, ref. Gonna do anything with it? You're gonna reverse the decision? And gets in the ring, confronts Doug. And Kid says, like, man, just leave it. It's not the issue. Obviously, Kid not knowing about the pipe. And boom! Hits Doug with a pipe. And then, it's like, oh my God, is this happening? So Kid goes for the handshake, and Amin doesn't respond. So Kid goes to do the bowing because he's, servant and whatever. And Amin lifts him up from the head to his feet and gives him a great big giant hug. Holy shit! They've done face. They've done fucking face.
You knew it was coming before too long, though.
Yep. Kenny interviews Strong Style Collective and says that they're focused on getting the belts. Then Kenny interviews Moss and Slater. Why they aired these straight after the other, I don't know. And says, you haven't, Kenny's like, you haven't talked very much, in this tournament. Why not? And Moss is like, until we won those belts, there wasn't any point in talking. Now we have, and now we've proven it. Now we start talking. So to prove that they start talking, we get a title match. So first, they haven't even been able to first match back, and they have to defend them. Christ, it's nearly like New Day. Like, defend it every week, fuckers. They managed to beat the Strong Style Collective it was a nice little finish. Johnny Moss powerbomb Dunn. Then he powerbombed Banks. Then they managed to put Dunn on top of Banks in a powerbomb position and hit both Moss and Slater hit Banks in the knees, so he powerbombed his own partner.
That's very interesting. I like that.
And then we get the headbutt dive fireman's carry toss combo thing that Moss and Slater do, and they retain. Pretty good match. I can't say, it's been the best WCW tag match. And no, I'm not voting in that because it'll probably be rigged. The best tag title match is obviously Kurt Angle. So then we got James R. Kennedy outside. He's cold outside. Just like Rampage will be in his hospital bed tonight after match number 2, which is Hulk Hogan and Zeus.
Oh, no.
Because I'm pretty sure that's where the term no holds barred came from in wrestling terms. Probably. And Prospect show up and says, we're on a bad run of form, and we're not doing, we're sort of missing you. We lost in the tag title tournament. We lost in the number 1 contenders match. We need some help. And James like, man, I've been busy with other business. And says like, yeah, business is important. We're clearly in the red on a downward trend. We sort of need a boost to get back up. And then he takes a phone call and says, no, I'll be with you 2 minutes. When Prospect start talking, he goes, no, I need to talk to him for 2 minutes. I'll talk with you guys later. Get me a drink at the bar. You're paying. So, yeah. I think Kennedy is splitting up from Prospect.
There you go. He can go with
Because all he's doing is being bloody manslave to Primate. Speaking of Rampage Primate, man, quite a lot of hardcore stuff. Singapore cane kendo sticks, because they're both the same.
Right.
The finish was like ridiculous. Rampage and Primate got a hell of a beating to each other, but I think Rampage hit a home run on Primate with a steel chair. It was just, it was like Sting with a baseball bat sort of thing. It was like, BWAM! Smacked him with the chair about 5 or 6 times. Power bombed him through a table. To kick out, though, Primate. So Rampage gave him a pole driver onto a folded up steel chair. Gets the win. And Rampage and Primate are 1 each in the best of 7. And that's your main event match. But we then get to the main event itself. The Cheaty Club come out. Adam, Scott, Jack, Nosferatu. And Adam says, hey, everybody from Pacitti Club won their matches at Delete WCW. However, Ospreay got attacked after his match with Martin Kirby, unjustly, and apparently is in the hospital. So, in a show of respect, Pacitti wants a 2-minute silence.
Wow.
And then I swear Roman Reigns was in WCPW because all I heard was boos. And Pacitti invites Kirby to come to the ring. Kirby's music hits and stays on the entrance ramp and says, what do you want, Parmesan? Parmesan chant from the crowd. I don't like being called that. And Kirby's like, come on, man. He doesn't like being called Parmesan. What do you want, dickhead?
Yes.
And then good old Alex Shane is, well, you might get Parmesan on a dickhead if you're not careful and you don't clean properly. And Dave Bradshaw's like, you actually saying this? Somebody's been watching too many Austin Aries on NXT.
Very true.
Or not NXT. Well, would he have been able to see 205 live? Possibly. Yeah, because it would have aired the night before. And Adam says, I got a contract here for you to have a match on next week's show. It'll be the Swords of Essex versus Martin Kirby. If you win, Martin, you get to become GM. But if you lose, you've got to leave What Culture forever.
Yeah, I know what's going to happen now.
And Kirby, well, we thought that about Noam Dar. So, yeah. And let's be honest, with the way Kirby's going, WWE probably signed him. That's what the announcement is tomorrow. We've signed Martin. That's what it'll just be. They've just gone to London to do a giant press conference with Martin Kirby. Probably. So Kirby just signs, as a Jack took the contract over to him on the ramp, and says like, thank you for signing, Jack. You can get out. We don't need you anymore. And he just solemnly walks off. And Adam goes, by the way, I don't know whether you need an optician or anything, or a lawyer, because they always do advise you should probably read the contract before you sign it. it's not a 2-on-1 match. It's 3-on-1. And Kirby's like, oh, I'll take you on, Parmesan. You know, not with the mic. And then, of course, from behind, Bully Ray shows up, chokes Martin out with the throws him into the ring, beat down from Swords of Essex. And they manage to handcuff him in the ring to the ring ropes. Cuffs. The pink fluffy love cuffs are back. And bloody Bully goes, do you know who I am? Do you know who we are? We're the bloody Pachiti Club, wanker. And he's like, no, you do not try and do Cockney on a show, Bully Ray. Please. Holy shit. We're gonna bash your bloody head in. He does. You know, I was gonna swear, but he didn't do that in the promo. And then the lights go out, and piano starts playing. Here comes Matt, and he's smiling. I guess he grabbed the contract from Jack the Jobber, unless of course Jack the Jobber is Matt Hardy. Dun dun dun. And he signed the contract as well. So it's a 3-on-2 handicap next week. And Hardy is adamant that he wants Pachichi and his stupid club deleted. Delete. And then, just at the end, which was announced last week, but it's the first time I saw it at the end of the show, we get a promo for WCPW heading to Scotland at the end of January, with King Ross doing impression of the local Zero, Joe Hendry.
Oh, wow.
And then fucking Hendry comes in to basically portray WTF Ross.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And then, you know, towards the end is like, you know, WTF, I have no talent. I just jump around in front of a green screen and people watch it. And somehow I've got more followers than Joe Hendry, is what I would say if I wasn't a classy man. So, what are you going to see at WCPW in Edinburgh? And during this time, fucking Ross licks his finger and goes in for a wet willy with the ear. So bloody to show, you know, how much of a boss he is. Monsieur Joe manages to lift up King Ross and basically give him his finisher, or tries to. But in turning him round, for some reason, a puppy flashes up on the screen.
What?
Somewhere in the region of Ross's bottom. And we fight, I figured it out, but then literally like a second later, Ross is just going, my ass is hanging out. And it's just, that promo that they do is fucking awesome. So yeah, that's where WCPW finishes. Few bits of news though. They announced officially this week, or last week anyway, live on iPay-per-view on February 12th in Milton Keynes. We now know the name of the show. It's True Destiny. So you've probably worked out what it is. The main event is Kurt Angle versus Alberto El Patron. And in additional facts, coming for the shows, or some of the shows in January, can't remember which ones exactly, you can find out on the video, to bolster up the women's division are Eva Lise and Tessa Blanchard, before they both go to the E for the women's classic. Probably.
Don't forget about the match in Liverpool.
Well, if that's happening,
We'll see.
if Cody versus Zack is happening, he's got to get on a fucking flight quick.
Why do you think they're
I
having
wouldn't.
the match against Juice Robinson? They'll do a quick match, and then Cody will get right on the plane.
I because of the angle that they've used for him, he's going to be on the January the 5th show, the New Year Bash, or whatever they call it,
Right.
the show after. In which case, he will not be able to make it on a plane in time. Which makes me think Cody versus Sabre might be happening on the WCPW tapings instead.
It's
The
possible.
days after and whatever. But overall, pretty solid show. Pacitti, make sure Connors goes calm. Oh, sorry, not Pacitti, Blompier. Because we know he writes it.
All right.
That's why he doesn't make any more how WWE should book, because he's booking this stuff himself.
What's going on in UFC right now?
Well, something that I didn't know until hearing it off Monsieur Dave. Apparently, their January pay-per-view is already cancelled.
Really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I guess they can't get enough of a strong enough card to justify getting it done.
Ouch.
For some reason. You know, that they're pinning all their hopes on 2 weeks' time when Ronda's back. And if, UFC will be getting a knife and slitting their wrists if Ronda loses.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because in which case, for the next 6 months, they're fucked. Because Conor isn't coming back until May or June at the earliest. Ronda, even if she wins, could retire. And if she loses, I think she probably will. In which case, hey, Stephanie, you know that thing with the 4 horsewomen? Want to make it 5? In terms of the shows this past weekend, if I can find the notes right in the place. The fight night on the Friday show was okay. Wasn't too bad. On the Fight Pass undercard, I said I'd go through this. Thankfully, most of them are basically decisions rather than submissions or TKOs or anything like that. So, in the women's strawweight division, we had Juliana Lima beat JJ Aldrich. Ryan James in the middleweights beat Keith Berish. Mark Chikaze victorious over Frankie Perez in the lightweights. Featherweight action saw Shane Burgos beat Thiago Trator. 2 middleweight fights. Andrew Sanchez beat Trevor. And then the first, not actually a decision. Okay, that didn't make sense. Gerald Mearshart beat Joe Gigliotti via an anaconda choke submission late on in the first round. Then Randy Brown in the welterweight division got the win over Brian Kamotzi with a TKO in the second round. And then another decision, this time on a catch weight. So not a women's strawweight match because somebody didn't make weight, I guess. Justine Kish beat Ashley Yoda.
Oh, okay.
And then on Fight Pass, they started off with the 2 light heavyweight bouts. Gian Vellante beating Saparbek Safarov via TKO in the second round, and also in the second round via TKO, Corey Anderson beat Sean O'Connell. Then the heavyweight bouts, after only basically 2 minutes, Francis Ngannou beat Anthony Hamilton with a Kimura. You listening, Brock? Kimura. And then the main event, Derek Lewis beat Shamil Abdurakhimov via TKO midway through the 4th round. In terms of the bonuses, fight of the night went to Vellante versus Safarov. even though it only went 2 rounds. And performance of the night went this to Ngannou for his Kimura and Mia Shart for his Anaconda.
I feel sorry
I've
for
just
the person
realized
turning on
I've just
show right
realized
now.
what I said there, and considering last week I was ranting about Sophia Grace talking about singing Nicki Minaj songs, I just brought up Anaconda. I'm getting flashbacks. And then the pay-per-view, interesting, because nobody gave a fuck about the main event, but we had the match of the year. So we'll start off with the preliminary card Fight Pass stuff. We had just Dustin Ortiz beat Zach Makovsky via split decision, not unanimous. And the flyweights. Then a catchweight fight. I don't know who lost. I don't know who missed weight on this one. Rustam Khabilov beat Jason Sago via unanimous decision. And then in the lightweights, Lando Venata beat John Makdeski with a spinning wheel kick knockout after only 100 seconds. Bang, bang, bang. Fox Sports 1 preliminary card. And the bantamweight division, Matt Lopez beat Mitch Gagnon, unanimous decision-wise. Viviane Pereira beat Valerie Letourneau by a split decision. Lightweight action saw Olivier Aubin-Mercier beat Drew Dober via rear naked choke submission midway through the second round. And then late on in the first round, Misha Kirkunov beat Nikita Krylov in the light heavyweight division with a guillotine choke. The main card, Emil Weber-Meek beat Jordan Mine via unanimous decision in the welterweights. Kelvin Gastelum got the win over Tim Kennedy midway through the third and final round with some punches. Then Cub Swanson versus Doo-Ho Choi. Holy fucking shit. This was like the good old days of like when people got murdered in boxing and had Parkinson's afterwards. Because these guys beat the fuck out of each other. And they went all 3 rounds. It was a unanimous decision, but literally this fight was just incredible. You know, right from the... This fight had, I think, 2 or 3 spinning kicks. You know, like you'd see in a Bruce Lee film that didn't actually miss. They actually connected and knocked people groggy. This is how good this fight was. And, you know, fuck it. I'll spoil it here. They got $50,000 bonuses for fight of the night. Hell, I'd give them $500,000 bonuses for fight of the year. We had to wait 40-something weeks for it, but Toronto got a bloody incredible fight. Made up for the 100 and whatever, 87 seconds or whatever it was of Brock and Goldberg a month before. Or 3 weeks before, I guess. In the same building. Man. Also in somewhat impressive style, Donald Cerrone beat Matt Brown in the welterweight division with a head kick knockout. Pretty much straight into the third and final round. Interestingly, afterwards, Cerrone was like, "Oh, you know that MMA thing? You know, the Athletes Association? Yeah, I'm not part of that anymore." Dana must have like just gone, "We're giving you fucking money," and Donald just went, "Yeah." So then we had the complicated main event that nobody was invested in from the start. Because, shock horror, this interim title match got even more complicated because Anthony Pettis didn't make weight. So we were still having the fight, but if Pettis won, he wouldn't have got the belt. And the title and the interim title would still be interim and, you know, in abeyance and whatever. Thankfully, Max Holloway won in the third round, right at the end, by a TKO. You could sort of tell because he was out of shape. Pettis, was not going to be winning. Remember, Pettis is the guy that seemed unbeatable, like even 12 months ago, and he's really, that star has gone down. But even like midway through the first round, because Pettis, Pettis was all right midway through the first round, and then it's just a cliff went. And he really wasn't trying, and the crowd turned on the main event. Montreal Screwjob style, they were just booing for booing's sake, despite the win for Holloway. Also probably because they still remembered that Cub Swanson and Dooho Choi happened on this card, and they were like, why wasn't this the main event? We wouldn't have minded this going 5 rounds. Rather than whatever the shit this title match was, even though it wasn't a title match, but it was, but it wasn't, but it was, but it wasn't. Holloway did get $50,000 for a performance of the night. Also with Lando Venata on the Fight Pass preliminary card. So, what on the undercard of the undercard with his spinning wheel kick. Got him $50,000, which is nice. In terms of this weekend, it's one because it's the final Fox show of the year. So yeah, they're actually putting it on the main channel. In terms of what's coming in terms of the card, on Fight Pass, we've got a welterweight fight with Bojan Velikovic versus Sultan Aliyev. That sounds like a match from like WWF in the 1980s.
Pretty much.
Sultan. In flyweight, we've got Hector Sandoval taking on Freddie Serrano. And then the bantamweight division, we've got Eddie Wineland versus Takeya Miyugaki. Or Mizugaki, sorry. Then on the Fox Sports 1 card, women's bantamweight action with Leslie Smith versus Irene Aldana. And lightweights, we've got Josh Emmett versus Scott Holtzman. 2 welterweight fights as Jane Bunce Tazri and Alex Moreno go face each other. And Brian Barberena taking on Colby Covington. Cole Miller faces Mizuto Hirota in the featherweight division, and then a light heavyweight bout to round off the preliminary card with Luis Henrique de Silva one-on-one with Paul Craig. And then your 4 Fox matches, we've got Alan Juban taking on Mike Perry in the welterweight division. Uriah Faber in his last ever match in MMA, from what I know. Unless he went to another promotion, but certainly it'll be his last ever UFC match. In his hometown of Sacramento, California, takes on Brad Pickett. So, whatever happens, he is hanging up the gloves after this. We've got another welterweight action with Sage Northcutt on the rise against some bloke called Mickey Gall. I don't know. You may have heard him. He beat the fuck out of CM Punk a few months back. So Mickey Gall is going to be on free television.
Watch him get knocked out.
Seriously,
watch him get knocked out.
Northcutt's got the potential to, I will admit that. So, we'll have to see. And in the main event, it's Dancing with the Stars time because it's Paige Van Zant's return after winning that competition, taking on Michelle Waterson. And I would argue if Paige wins because of the high-profile level that she's at, she might get a shot sooner rather than later against Joanna for her belt. So we'll see. Hopefully there isn't an upset. But, yeah. And that is the last UFC show that people can watch if they've got Fox. Apart from, like, the preliminary card of the pay-per-view. Because, of course, the final show of the year is pay-per-view, or at least the main bit of the card's pay-per-view. This is the last one where it's on a TV channel rather than a pay-per-view thing. So,
right.
Probably just for those 3 fights at the the 3 main fights on Fox, it's probably worth watching. This is where I do the obligatory. Are they showing it in the UK? In which case, I might actually watch it, even though it's probably at the same time as something else that I'll probably miss. TV guide, Saturday, swipe. Yeah, they are showing it. Good, good, good. I approve this message.
All right. We move on to you.
I'm trying to think if there was another bit of news.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a bit. John Jones beat Dan Henderson in some grappling thing on Flow Grapple. So yeah, Flow Sports also does a thing called Flow Grapple, which apparently is the brainchild of Chael Sonnen. And amazingly, these things can happen even with UFC contracted people. And after his win, Jones obviously can't compete in MMA. I think the ban has come out as being 1 year rather than the 2 years or whatever because of the situation that he's in. But he challenged Chael Sonnen to a fight, which I think Chael accepted, which will probably be happening on the next show, which I think they said was something like February or March time. But yeah, it's weird. They're not allowed to do MMA, but if they do a grappling match, they're not allowed to strike each other. Christ, that makes less sense than the Grand Championship in TNA. But I think that's all the MMA news.
All right.
Ronda's got a new movie out.
We'll move on to our next segment. And our next segment is actually going to be on Lucha Underground.
Oh, shit. So tonight's episode is called On las Sombras, which is in the shadows translated. So technically, the title of this episode in my world would be, wasn't that a song by the Rasmus? Wow, I'm dropping the references. So previously, Angelico, Sexy Star, Balls. So we start off with another Fatal 4-Way Balls first round, or Battle of the Balls tournament first round match with Killshot, Dante Fox, Mariposa, and Jeremiah Crane. So yeah, Shane Strickland, AR Fox, Chili de Melissa, and Sammy Callahan.
Oh, wow.
Dare I say CZW? The thing is, this started off so average, and then towards the end, it really got fucking crazy. Mariposa was doing crazy shit. Jeremiah was doing the stretch muffler. Killshot was doing crazy dives because he's Shane Strickland. AR Fox was doing crazy dives because he's AR Fox. And it got to a bit when AR Fox goes for a 450. Jeremiah gets his feet up and then hits him with, I think they were calling it because he's Jeremiah Crane, the cranial contusion. Most other people know it as the cradle killer. And Jeremiah is in the final next week. But then afterwards, Killshot and Fox were in the ring. And Killshot still doesn't trust him. So he beat the crap out of Fox and gave him the kill shot. So that happened. Then after commercial, Tyre's filming a documentary on Worldwide Underground. And they're like sat there and she's like, be genuine to the camera. And say, how focused you are and whatever. And they're just like are we going to be dubbing in guitars and whatever? She says, why wouldn't I do that? He says, like, well, it'd be cool. And then they do the thing, and it's like, no, this isn't Bill and Ted. It just randomly gets added on as if she's editing, as if she purposefully edited this for Lucha Underground, even though it was shot with another camera that wasn't her. So then Mundo comes in, and he isn't happy with the way Worldwide Underground is doing. And says, none of you have beaten Sexy Star, only I have. That's why I'm the leader of this group. And, if you can't get along today, I might as well take your colors, take your bandanas off you and get, find somebody else to join the group. During all this time, Taya goes like, come on, make it look genuine. And he basically turns, as if this is like a Spanish bloody melodrama. He turns like chest out to the camera and like turning to the left, sort of like a robot, and goes, yes, men, do you not want to be part of this worldwide underground group? It's like, Christ, why did you suddenly decide to do that? Then we get Sexy Star with a Rocky / Creed training montage. Goes to the locker room and finds a giant tarantula in her locker room. And she's pissed. And I'm going, hang on. Why are we doing this angle again? I thought that we finished it. No mass and all that shit. So then we get Cobra Moon one-on-one with Drago. Cobra apparently asked Dario for this match. It's an okay match. It quickly goes into a DQ because let me get the name of him. King Mao, who is or King Mal is at least the name that he seems to be going by in terms of cage match. Because they didn't really mention the names properly or subtitle them or anything. King Mao is basically a reptile form of Drago. Attacks him. Phoenix comes out to make the save along with Aerostar. But then, all this time, like, Cobra's trying to, hypnotize, like, Drago for him to come back. And then she, summons all these people and, like, gets on her knees and, like, looking up the stairs. And she's like, come to me. And then a masked, because I'm breaking kayfabe, Bestia 666 shows up. Who, I think the technical term in Lucha is huge fucker. Comes down, destroys all three of them. Gives them a double choke slam to Aerostar and Phoenix. Then gets Drago, gives him a tombstone pole driver, puts him over his shoulders, and they take him away to God knows where. During this time, the crowd were chanting Luchasaurus. So fuck it. That should be his name. If they give him anything else, who gives a shit? Luchasaurus is so much better. Because I guess if he's a lizard, he could actually be a dinosaur.
It's true.
So it would make sense. But then, this is Lucha Underground. Nothing makes sense.
No.
Mariposa and Sexy Star having a B-movie bust-up backstage. Or a brawl battle, if you will. So many Bs. And Sexy's like, I had no, our feud is over. Why the hell did you put a spider in my locker? And Mariposa's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Plus, and this is, by the end, by Sexy Star's just pissed. She goes, I wouldn't put something ugly like a spider in there. I'd put a big, beautiful butterfly. And Sexy Star is so pissed. She goes to punch Mariposa. Mariposa gets out the way, sort of CGI wise, when Greedo shot first in the special edition of Star Wars. Just in time, because Sexy Star punches through the wall made of cardboard. They couldn't even make it look like brick. It was just like, oh wow, there's a hole in the wall. If they got like dust flying off to make it look like she punched through a brick wall, it'd be like, man. But it's like, I don't even know it was cardboard. It was just like a thin sheet of MDF, and it was just like, wow, I could do that. Probably using my tongue alone. And then your main event, the final Battle of the Balls 4-way. Jack Evans, PJ Black, Son of Havoc, and Angelico. Pretty good match, as you'd expect with all these four. Flippy shitty city. Flips and shits and all that sort of shit. Very interesting at the end. Angelico basically gets thrown off the turnbuckle into the bars and the seating area at ringside. Same happens to Son of Havoc. And PJ lies on the mat and goes, Jack, pin me. Pin me. Jack goes to do so. PJ rolls him up, gets the 3 count, and PJ steals the win. So, not only next week are you getting your main event of Mundo versus Sexy Star in a cage, but we're also getting Brian Cage, ironically. Well, Brian Cage, or Cage as they call him, because he's a machine. The Mac, Jeremiah Crane, and PJ Black. So basically, it's a fucking battle of people that got cut from WWE versus Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
It's very true.
Or a combination of all, or just all the people that have been in PWG over the last year. But wait, there's more! Oh, it's good to see this back after a week missing. So, Dragon Azteca Jr. comes into, I guess, someplace. And Ray's there, and he says, man, you look beat up. And what happened? And he goes, well, it didn't go well. I got beat up by Matanza. And Ray's like, man, it should have been me, not you. He goes, no. I know what my training, my destiny, I know what my training was for now. I know what my destiny and my purpose is. And Ray's like, right, look, Dragon, you can't win against him. He's too big. He's too powerful. And Dragon's like, I never said anything about winning. And Ray is like, it's my fight. It's nothing to do with you. Yeah. And Dragon goes, no, you've done it perfectly. I'm set on my own path now. I don't need your guidance. My own path of destiny is here. And the first thing I've got to do is end Matanza's life. Jeff Cobb's dying!
Sounds like it.
I've already got rid of him because he's getting signed to the E to take on Samoa Joe. Yay!
Wow.
That's Lucha for this week.
All right.
I dread to think what the hell they're going to do for next week because it'll be the Felix Navidad episode or the closest thing to it.
Do you want to go to tribute to the troops first before we move on to NXT?
Yeah, we've just got to that being finitoed. So
It was over like 40 minutes ago, but that's okay.
yeah. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. So yeah, there was a dark match. Neville beat Kurt Hawkins.
Neville's
Can't
still
even get on
there?
the tribute to Neville's still there. Also, so is Kurt Hawkins. One of these things is not like the other things. One of these things should be back in the Indies. I'm looking at you, Kurt. You were so much better there.
Apparently Hawkins is going to be a dad soon.
Well, we know what happens when you go to the WWE and you want money. You get fired from your job. Isn't that right, Kenny? So we start off with Sheamus and Cesaro beating Golden Truth for Shining Stars and Gallows and Anderson in a four-way to earn a shot at the Raw tag titles at Roadblock. We're doing fucking storylines on Tribute to the Troops. So,
It's not necessarily a storyline. It's a title match.
It's building up towards shit that is happening. It's not just a why the fuck is this happening?
Why did they change this?
This is appropriate because Sheamus and Cesaro, that means a winning on Sunday.
Well, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Apollo Crews beat Miz in a non-title match. I'm guessing this might get tied into now Smackdown, probably.
Maybe.
We had the Wyatts of Bray, Luke, and Orton beating Ziggler and American Alpha. Random trio, but pretty good match. Bailey beat Dana Brooke. That's the fucking woman's match you give us on Tribute to the Troops. Fuck you, Vince. Fuck you. Seriously. Christ. We had a 6-man with Swan, Perkins, and Gallagher beating Kendrick, Nice, and Gulak. Drew Gulak never wins. Is it his punishment for taking on Mike Quackenbush? So then New Day cut a promo and saying that they're the greatest tag teams of all time now. And then AJ Styles, Anderson, and Gallows show up and says, no, it's them. And then the great thing is the music hits and people boo because they think it's Roman. Except it's Roman and Seth and Ambrose. So yeah, for one segment only, the Shield were back together. And not like Survivor Series, I mean an actual sort of mini segment. And then for some reason, Enzo and Cass decided to interrupt. Yeah, considering they've not even been in the company for a fucking year. What, NXT for like 2 years as a team, roughly?
Pretty much, yeah.
The fact that they're being considered as the best tag team of all time.
No.
I've got one word to spell, and I'm going to spell it out. N-O. Soft. And the main event, Roman Reigns and Big Cass beat Kevin Owens and Rusev.
Another reason why Kevin Owens is retaining on Sunday.
Also, this is a not very fucking entertaining main event. Where the hell was Seth?
Yeah, why is Rollins not working this show?
Yeah. I doubt him and Chris are going to, it's not on, from what I know, it's not like a no holds barred match or anything between them. So, bit weird.
That's very strange. I'll give him that.
the great thing is, because bloody Roman won, the fans went home booing. It's tribute to the. Well, I admittedly, I don't know whether they edited in the cheers because it's Kevin Dunn, and let's be honest, they probably edited them in. But I'm pretty sure that live crowd in where were they for SmackDown? Can't remember.
Looking. I don't know. I can't find it.
Hang on, let me go back to my notes. Scroll up.
Sure.
Washington, D.C.
How appropriate.
Mm. You know what would rescue that thing? Batista.
Yeah, why did they could have Dave show up and do some sort of a gimmick and then promote Guardians too? That's what I would have done.
I guess it's because he did that kickboxer film that wasn't a WWE film, and they went, "Fuck you."
It was funny that didn't The Rock do something for the troops the same night as well that also aired at the same time?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
He did his own show because fuck you. By the way, I'm in the new Jason Statham movie, Fast 8. Also starring some bloke called Vin Diesel because he's a co-star now. Yeah, that trailer clearly showed us Jason Statham's now the lead character. He's overtaken a franchise.
Oh boy.
Oh.
All right, so that's tribute to the troops. We're just plugging along, Ashley.
Yep. Well, we need to. I need to be seeing Rogue One in about 9 hours. Well, 11 hours.
Some of us have to wait until Friday morning to do this.
Well, I can't help it that they opened it a day early.
I can't help
it. A chance to do something before I see bloody Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart do awesomeness. But whatever.
I can't help it that I have to work and I'm not able to watch it until Friday morning at 11 a.m.
Yeah, but you're seeing La La Land, you lucky bastard.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Nope, we didn't get any of the good stuff. We just got the stuff that's opening.
Now you know how I feel. I just go to the listings and see, oh, you got 23 showings of Rogue One.
We don't, and we don't even have it in Theater 1. That's something that's even more funny to me.
What's in the biggest one? Fantastic Beasts?
You are correct.
Why?
Too many 3D movies. To be honest, without going into it, too many 3D movies. Because Sing, Assassin's Creed, and Passengers are all 3D.
Oh, are they coming out as well?
They come out on Wednesday.
Oh, I see.
So they have Tuesday openings. Real quick, the only difference that I can really go into before we talk about NXT is the fact that the Tribute to the Troops show also changed the card for Roadblock, which had added the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the tag titles. So we've got 7 matches for Roadblock as of right now. Looks like a decent show considering what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Cass versus Rusev, I'm intrigued, even on the pre-show.
Right.
Please let it be Renee and not Charlie Caruso. Please. Please.
Zayn and Strowman just building to me and Ashley's prediction of Zayn winning the Rumble. The 3-way of the Cruiserweight Championship being on the line. It's going to be a solid match. New Day are finally dropping the tag belts. Jericho and Rollins are going to have a solid match. Charlotte and Sasha are finally going to end the feud in a 30-minute Iron Woman match. And Owens is retaining, so life is good. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this Sunday night only on pay-per-view or the WWE Network at 8 p.m. All right. NXT.
I don't know. Shit happened. It was so technically tonight we had 5 matches.
Yeah, 4 matches plus they showed I can't say highlights, but they showed about 9 minutes of Nakamura and Joe in the cage in the Spinal Tap cage. from Australia.
Right. That's fucking complicated.
I'm not kidding. It was the cage.
I know. Was it Brian Cage?
No, I don't think so. Solid stuff back and forth. Joe went for the muscle buster off the top. Nakamura fought out of it, rammed Joe's face into the cage, and Nakamura comes off with the Kinshasa to the back of the head. And then he goes to the door, and then he decides to stop it because Joe's getting up to his feet. So he shuts the door himself, hits another one, and then Joe ends up groggily going for one more lariat, and the other one finishes it. So 3 pretty much in succession. And Nakamura retains the NXT Championship. Really solid match, but I really wish I could have seen the whole thing. I hope they're smart enough to put this on a DVD somewhere down the line.
Probably. And again, I shouldn't say that because they probably won't.
Full Sail, we talked about
I
these.
don't know how well that Best of NXT thing sold.
Yeah. It's sad, given the match that was on there with the Kings of Wrestling teaming up.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Don't worry. So we go back to Full Sail. These were the past NXT tapings. The first thing is they highlight what happened in Toronto with the 6-women tag match. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are interviewed, and they blame the loss on Daria. Billie says, we're on track. We have many plans. Peyton says, we don't associate with losers. Daria comes up and says, you know what? I want to hurt you. I'll hurt one of you next week. You decide who it's going to be. So, yeah, that's fun. I guess Daria's the babyface by default now. Okay, sure, whatever. So we had 4 qualifying matches to determine who would face off and a fatal 4-way to determine who would face off for the NXT Championship in San Antonio the weekend of the Rumble. Very quick match. Ty Dillinger taking on Eric Young. So it just pretty much was a quick disqualification win in about a minute. EY came out. Ty turned on the momentum, hit the 10 punches in the corner. Nikki Cross hits the ring, jumps on his back. Alexander Wolf got involved at one point too. After the match was over, Eric pulls Nikki off. Ty takes him to the outside. He knocks Alexander Wolf off the apron, dodges Nikki's charge, and then bam, Big Damo comes out.
Yes!
And he lays out Dillinger with Wasteland and a senton backsplash. So, yeah, I guess Damo's using Wasteland now. Can't use the one-winged angel at WWE.
Yes! All sorts of yes!
Exactly. Short match, Andrade Cien Almas against Noe Jose. Jose sets up for the fastball at the end of the match. Almas ducks it, pop up into the right hand for a near fall. He goes for the TKO, Almas elbows out of it, big boot, and nails the hammerlock DDT to get the win. So he wins in under 4 minutes. Then the match that I was really curious to see how it play out on television. I was not upset. Everyone's favorite superstar in NXT, the Drifter, Elias Sampson.
Oh, God.
Taking on Roderick Strong.
Oh, thank God.
Heat on Roddy for a while. He fights out of a chin lock. He gets out of a power slam attempt, hits a drop kick, runs into the corner with a running knee, hits a running forearm in the corner, and there you go. Gut buster.
Why do you have to do it yourself?
I know. I didn't know if you
sounded
had it.
like you were having a seizure.
It's an Owen noise. Everyone around me that knows you personally.
Chewy's got his asthma inhaler again.
So he wins with the sick kick. I'm very happy he's still using it. It was a decent match. I like Elias Sampson. You guys need to get off the junk. Anyway, Billie Kay versus Daria next week. That's official. Main event time, about 5 minutes between Bobby Roode and Oni Lorcan. Seeing Biff Busick and Bobby Roode made me happy. Didn't go as long as I thought it would. Shock surprise there. Oni hits the clothesline in the corner, sets up for it again. He eats the buckle, and he goes for a sunset flip, gets caught with the double R, and the glorious drop ends it. So next week, Almas, Rude, Dillinger, Strong, and the winner faces Nakamura at NXT TakeOver San Antonio.
Apparently this Sunday, they're doing a live television advert in the UK to promote Assassin's Creed, with some guy doing a 100-foot leap of faith into a bale of hay.
Okay. Anyway.
It's actually not that impressive because the stuntman actually did 125 feet, so the stuntman's a pussy. Well, again, if it goes wrong on live television, it's going to be fucking awkward.
So we'll get to news in a minute, but first we have to end with our last piece of televised wrestling news, and that's Ring of Honor this week. It was a Women of Honor show.
Yeah, not too bad a show. Thankfully, they didn't go with the fight, or not. It wasn't a fight without honor, but the no holds barred match that happened like last week.
Yeah, right before Final Battle.
Yeah, that was said to be right utterly shit.
That's probably why they do that.
We had a video package for Deonna Purrazzo, and saying that it matters what she thinks of herself. It doesn't matter what other people think. And to have been in the match that kicked off the rebirth of Women of Honor is amazing, and is out to prove she's the best. And then Candice says, people have said that she should be in Women of Honor for years, and now she's going to prove that she's the toughest. Spoilers, she lost.
She lost to a Fujiwara armbar.
Yeah, very good match, though, between the two, as you'd expect, because it's Deonna Purrazzo and Candice LeRae.
Yes.
It was going to be impressive. Then we get tag action with Kennedy Brink, and probably the last time you'll ever see on Ring of Honor Vader Scott.
Correct.
Taking on Sumi Sakai and Faye Jackson, with Solo Darling in the corner. Well, I guess that now means Solo Darling is like the only woman left in Chikara right now.
Oh, no.
Because everybody else is going to the E.
Chikara's women's division is now going to be gone.
They never had a women's division.
There you go.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing.
But Kennedy Brink got the win. Side effects into Anaconda Vice, making Faye Jackson tap. But solid match between these 4/5, because Solo did do some stuff here and there. Then we had Amanda Leon video package saying the tension between her and Taylor Hendricks is no joke, and makes an open challenge, which Taylor accepts. Says that, because she basically, I think Taylor tried to use a weapon, but Mandy sort of reversed it and got the revenge, and says, I'm a woman of honor and a woman of respect. I've worked my butt off. And Taylor's just a woman of dishonor, and had to send Jessica Havoc to do her dirty work and do what you can't do. It might be my biggest fight of my life, but no matter what, I won't back down. So I'm trying to work out when they recorded this to cover up for the fact that nobody gives a fuck about the Monday Leon Taylor Hendricks match, because it was shit. And Havoc and Leon had a pretty decent match. Not as good as I was hoping. Basically, Havoc went for a chair, but Deonna Purrazzo made the save, and then Mandy hit a roll up on Jessica Havoc for the win. And then afterwards, Havoc destroyed both women. Pretty much. And then we had Kelly Klein versus ODB. which actually was pretty good. Kelly Klein getting the win with a guillotine choke, which on somebody like ODB is pretty impressive. I really am now hoping that the other Women of Honor match, you know, the Taylor Hendricks thing and Mandy Leon, isn't put on a main card show, because it's going to go, this is why Women's of Honor should never happen. Because this Women of Honor show was solid. If they even dare broadcast what happened, everyone's going to go, why did we want women's wrestling from Ring of Honor? Which doesn't help when Vader Scott's disappeared. But there you go. That's TV.
Let's talk Ring of Honor news real quick since we're on the subject. Two big departures. One of which we've been talking about for a while. And you're welcome last week for the Final Battle podcast, where I basically called exactly what happened. Not the only one going to be joining, apparently, because it looks like Nigel is going to be joining him as well.
That means we can actually call it a no, Nigel, when Dean does it now.
I was due anyway. Nigel ended up stepping down from his spot, and a lot of people were wondering if it was going to be just so he can do commentary to cover up for Steve Corino leaving the company. But apparently it sounds like he's got an withstanding deal with WWE to come and train at the Performance Center. I mean, that's a great way for him to be able to give back after what the business he's put into the business. It's a great way for him to be able them to give back to him, to give him a shot to train the next superstars. Very happy for Nigel.
He'll be back together with D. Bryan.
Yay! Exactly. So, Ring of Honor's first television taping is going to be January 14th, Center Stage Theater in Atlanta, GA. Main event's already been signed. It is going to be a Dream Partners tag match with the new member of the Bullet Club, Cody Rhodes, again, something I called, and Adam Cole taking on the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Kyle O'Reilly and Jay Lethal. Yes, please.
Yeah. That gets complicated when we talk about Japan in a minute.
So, also in action right now, will be the Young Bucks, current Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, the Ring of Honor World Television Champion Marty Scurll, the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champions, the Kingdom of Matt Taven, TK Orion, and Vinny Marseglia, the Briscoes, the Addiction, Bobby Fish, Hangman Page, the Motor City Machine Guns, Dalton Castle, the Rebellion of Coleman, Titus, and King, Silas Young and the Beer City Bruiser, Donovan Dijak, Leo Rush, Jay White, Hunter Schmidt Martinez, and BJ Whitmer. The Pretty Boy Killers, Keith Lee and Shane Taylor, the Tempura Boys, War Machine, Wolf Ferrara, and Cheeseburger, and 4 of the Women of Honor, Kelly Klein, Kennedy Brink, Sumi Sakai, and Faye Jackson. This is 7 p.m. Bell Time, Center Stage Theater, West Peachtree Street in Atlanta, GA, and that's going to be a television taping for Ring of Honor. So if you're able to go, I would. I would if I was able to. Ring of Honor also announced that they have more information on their 15th anniversary show in Las Vegas, March 10th. What a wonderful day that's going to be. Tickets are available right now at ROHWrestling.com. So I think that's all the ROH news I have.
Yeah.
For the time being. Which it's time to go into regular news, because that's exactly how we're ending the show from now on, is actually going into news.
I'll start with the stuff that wasn't in the newsletter.
Okay.
First up, my God, Ryback on his podcast.
I haven't heard about this. What happened?
He buried the fuck out of WWE.
Good job, Ryan.
So he said, he basically talks about his story, how he came up with Nexus and was apparently meant to win the tag team belts with Otunga, but broke his ankle in a few places in a match after taking a few drop kicks in a freak accident. But continued the match, so broke it even further. Then
Well,
the
it's worth doing,
WWE
it's considering.
trainer, since been fired, referred right back to a surgeon at the time had 10 pending lawsuits on him about malpractice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Got surgery to set the bones. The surgeon then put a foot-long metal rod in his leg, later finding out that he didn't need a metal rod in his leg. And, he was in pain and knew it wasn't the bone, but they didn't listen to him. What happened? The surgeon put the metal rod into his nerves below his knee. The surgeon also put the rod in the wrong manner, scraping away at some tissue that would lead to other issues down the line and, hinder his recovery. The bone healed, but he couldn't walk, kept going to physio and telling the office that there was a problem. They didn't give a fuck. So regular had to drive himself 3 hours to shows to have the physio to see him, because the physio, who is the same guy that got fired, wouldn't bother to make a 10-minute drive to meet Ryback locally.
Jeez.
He was then eventually sent to Dr. Andrews in Birmingham, or somebody that worked for him, that confirmed his suspicions and removed the rod. And then while he was out, there was a round of cuts and knew he was going to get cut. And when John Laurinaitis called him, he cut a promo on him for 20 minutes and talked him out of the firing. And also got an attorney to let him know what his butt tickle were based on all of this bullshit. Then met Hunter at a show while he was still healing and asking how he was. Triple H basically said they need to pull the plug soon on him. They tried to send him back to NXT and cut his pay instead of firing him. And he called Triple H and said he's moving back to Vegas because he spent 7 years away from home. And Triple H was like, yeah, that's fine. And then they put him back on the road as Ryback. And that ever since then, he says that the mark in him died and he knew Hunter and Vince were never fully behind him due to all the bullshit behind his injury. And that was a big factor in him leaving. Bang.
Yeah.
Interesting bits come out from New Japan which aren't related to Wrestle Kingdom and all that. New Japan is targeting a tour for in America.
Yeah, I saw
in
this.
2017, which may or may not be in conjoined with the G1.
Yeah.
Apparently, they also want to open a dojo in LA.
That makes sense.
So their Western talent actually has like a home base and whatever, which also means it's a shorter trip to go over for tours. Dragon Gate has announced all its shows or major shows for next year and the dates for them. So in terms of pay-per-views, you got Memorial Gate in Wakayama on March the 20th, Dead or Alive on May the 5th in Aichi, Kobe World in Kobe, no surprise, on July the 23rd, Dangerous Gate in Tokyo on September 18th, Gate of Destiny will be sometime in November, probably to be held in Osaka, but no confirmation on that yet in terms of, actual place or date. Actual place. The unnamed Tohoku show at the Sendai Sun Festa will be November 26th. And then Final Gate 2017 will be sometime in December. If it's anything like this year, it's probably going to be in or around Christmas time. Probably in Fukuoka, like the one is this year.
Makes sense.
And in terms of the schedule for Korakuen Hall, the shows are January 18th, February 2nd, March 8th, April the 7th, May the 9th, June the 1st, July the 6th, August the 8th, September the 5th, and October the 5th. November the 8th, and then 2 shows, December the 5th and December the 20th. If you want more details on that, you can find the page with all the info and everything over at iheartdg.com. That's IHEARTDG.com. We'll go through the card for Wrestle Kingdom, but Jim Ross announced a couple of days back on Wrestling Observer Live that Wrestle Kingdom 11 will be airing on Access only a week after it's happened.
In 3 parts.
Is it 3 or is it 4?
It's 3 or 4. Hold on, I have the news here. Yeah, 4 parts. Starting January 13th.
Yeah. Also, Ross announced that they've been renewed for 50 more episodes over 2017.
Right.
And will now move to 8 Eastern on Fridays.
I take that
continuing to work alongside Josh Barnett.
Right.
So, yeah, the January 13th show will begin with Okada versus Omega. They'll be showing that match, along with probably one of the other matches on the card, at least. And then the main event for the January 20th show will be Tanahashi versus Naito for the IC title. They haven't yet announced what's going to be airing on the 27th and the show in February. But yeah, that's got pretty interesting.
I got a really interesting piece of news before we go into Wrestle Kingdom, Ashley. Did you see? It's just breaking news. WWE is trying to sign Eli Drake.
It's happening. TNA fuckers are jumping to the right place. Yes. Yes. I'm so fucking happy. It's happening. The exodus is happening. EC3 is going back home. Drew Galloway is going back home. The Hardys are going back home. Grado is going to WrestleMania.
Weekend.
Yeah.
More
I love it.
I have more TNA news. You heard about Jeff Jarrett, correct?
Is this just about my gold?
No, it's not about your gold. You're still not getting your gold. So John Pollock, everyone loves him. The Fight Network has basically said Jeff Jarrett has had talks with Anthem Sports and Entertainment's Ed Nordholm. So it sounds like Jeff Jarrett may be coming back to TNA. If this happens, Jarrett basically went on record saying that this would do nothing to Global Force Wrestling, but it would kind of, because he loves the company and he loves being able to do it, he's probably going to mesh it with TNA. And hopefully like a rebranding of the company. Because even Matt Hardy went on record this week and said that the name TNA is pretty much toxic and they need to absolve themselves from it.
So wait a second. GFW is basically going to be doing live events, and TNA is going to be the television.
That's what it sounds like. And the Fight Network can air the unaired shows they already have in the can.
God fucking damn it!
Weirdly enough, this information came from Yahoo Sport.
Hang on. Whoa. So, this is John Pollock.
From the Fight Network, yes.
But it's from Yahoo.
Well, okay. I've seen the article in many places. It's basically one of those articles that goes everywhere. So,
you fucking press release.
PW Insider said through Mike Johnson. PW Insider said through Mike Johnson.
Go, Mike. Oh, let's steal somebody else's news. We'll obviously give him the credit. Let's steal the fucking news.
I always give credit. And Mike Johnson.
How much of the shit on there is just press releases?
Who knows? Mike
House
Johnson.
of Hardcore. House of Hardcore press release. Ring of Honor press release.
We will get to House of Hardcore in a minute. Mike Johnson said Anthem. Mike Johnson said Anthem opened talks with Jeff Jarrett last Monday. They've not reached an agreement yet, but if Jarrett returns, Global Force would be its own separate entity. TNA is hoping to bring back Jarrett and Scott D'Amore to head up creative to replace Dave Lagana. Global Force would be part of some sort of Impact rebranding, and like I said, GFW may be on the Fight Network. So after everything that's all happened, Jeff Jarrett may be back in charge of TNA again, basically. How appropriate.
Mike's on the ball! Or something.
We can talk about House of Hardcore real quick.
I want to get through last week's Dave stuff before I read through this week's.
I was working on that right now. That's what I was trying to do.
Dave didn't talk about that last week.
No, we had to talk about it this week. I'll get to that later. Continue. And I'll talk about the rest of it in a minute. I only have a couple more news.
I'll get through last week's of Dave stuff, and then we'll get to this week's stuff after the indie preview for this week and the results and whatever. So, this is an interesting, weird bloody curveball. So after the Friday night CMLL Arena Mexico shows have aired on American television for months, the November 25th show was geo-blocked. Right before the show, a couple of weeks back on December 2nd, Claro Sports said that from this point forward, the shows will only air in Mexico and Latin America and nowhere else. So the 2nd of December show happened and it aired in America. Yeah. Nobody in North America can see it. Only Latin America and Mexico. By the way, it's also on American television. Great job. Great job. Apparently, Bushiroad training cards adverts are airing in Japan featuring Mila Jovovich and Kazuchika Okada. Because apparently they're trying to make Okada become a mainstream celebrity. She's fucking married to Paul W.S. Anderson. Why the fuck did she agree to this? Interesting twist from New Japan. Because New Japan always have a Rumble as a pre-show. Apparently one of the people in it could be Scott Norton.
Yeah, I saw that.
He might be heading over. Elgin's had a minor setback in getting back in the gym, but he's hoping to be back to at least be in some capacity on the Tokyo Dome show. DDT will be having its streaming service, DDT Universe. Their big shows will be airing in times that are conducive to US viewing. So they'll be happening live in Japan, but so they can coincide somewhere between 10 p.m. and midnight Eastern. So basically, they're trying to do a New Japan. They're trying to do time so the American audience can still watch it and not be up for ridiculously late. This one I'm combining with this week's stuff because it is worth noting. The World of Sport pilot has had a bit of a time change. It's no longer 4 till 6. It's now 5 till 7. Because apparently people want to watch Ninja Warrior UK, despite the fact it's done in a fucking studio. That ruins the whole concept. Bloody idiots. Flow Slam announced the signing of IPW UK. 6 of the 12 events that they'll be airing will be live, and 6 will be airing on tape delay. The first show is this coming weekend in Rochester, featuring Zack Sabre versus Matt Riddle, Cody Rhodes versus Will Ospreay. In which case, they're flying bloody quickly out of LA then, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty
Well,
sure they're
Cody,
all going to be at PWG in some shape or form. Perhaps not Cody, because he's got the stuff which we'll get to.
Cody moved to LA though, so he can definitely fly pretty much anywhere he wants a lot faster.
Jimmy Havoc defending the IPW UK title against Sammy Smooth in an I Quit match. And also Tom Dawkins versus Joseph Connors. And Dean Ayas has reached a deal to be the voice of the IPW UK shows on FloSlam. We have the confirmation about WWN doing the MMA stuff. Apparently, Riddle has had MMA offers since starting in pro wrestling, but has turned them down. Rev Pro announced for January 21st for their first show of the year. Matt Riddle taking on Katsuya Shibata for the British Heavyweight title. That's an MMA guy versus an MMA guy. That could be interesting. Del Rio's restaurant in San Antonio open to average reviews, mainly because there's a fuck ton of Mexican restaurants already there. Kurt Angle's playing a drug lord in a new movie called Chasing Molly. PWG had a ticket fuck up. Basically, they oversold the ringside tickets. So they basically went through the orders on time somehow, because I think they probably all sold out in about 120 seconds. And people that didn't miss out have all been basically told that they can get the first dibs on ringside for the next show or can get refunded. So I guess technically that means some people know when the next show is for PWG because they've already got tickets for it. Who knows? Still no word on Lucha Underground's tapings. The only confirmation now is spring. Or the only word that's going around is spring, not confirmation. Apparently the women that were shown celebrating Sexy Star's win were the wife of one of the cameramen and 3 of her friends. So basically they were plants that weren't paid. I don't care. Still fucking plants. Cacti. That's a plant, isn't it?
Close enough.
Vince had given the okay and trying to make deals with some independent wrestling companies for the WWE network and then changed his mind. It's one of the usual change your fucking mind all the time. Well, it's also worth noting that they talked about what TV shows they watch, what their favorite brand is, who their favorite stars, you know, whether they're most interested in the tag teams or the women or the men or the cruiserweights. And then, interestingly, how often you watch all the different TV shows and your favorite era for wrestling. Listed as 82 to 89, 90 to 95, 96 to 2000, 2001 to 2004, and 2005 to the present day. Which Dave notes, it's interesting that pro wrestling never existed before 1982. Fuck you, San Martino. So who knows? Undertaker has plans for WrestleMania. We don't know what it is, though. Whatever it is, the plans are apparently the same as what they were. They haven't changed or anything. Or something.
I still think
Goldberg is scheduled to be showing up in Tampa for Raw on January the 2nd, straight after the new year.
Yep.
Brock Dallas is going to be on a Brock Dallas. Brock Lesnar is going to be in Dallas.
Who's Brock Dallas?
I don't know. Mark Dallas's brother from ICW, obviously.
Good
Brock
save.
he's doing a couple of house shows. February 4th in Salt Lake City and February 17th in Dallas. Apparently Sawyer Fulton's injured. That's why he's not anywhere.
Right.
No word what it is, but who knows. The reason the Usos and Naomi have been off for the past 2 weeks is because apparently Naomi and Jay both have ankle injuries. Are they the ones that are married to each other?
I believe so.
They did it in bed. They were giving ankle locks in a 69. That's what was happening. That's why I went wrong.
Apparently, they were supposed to come back this weekend, but they delayed their return. So,
another interesting twist. Several of the people at the most recent tryout camp were sent emails that the company is only looking for people or not looking for people that are heavier than 205 pounds.
exactly.
Fucking Vince doesn't want big fuckers. He's gone the fucking Kool-Aid, son. He's on the fucking Kool-Aid. And 205 Live is on Hulu every Wednesday. So if you don't have a network, you can watch it if you got Hulu. Hulu hoops. So this is where it gets complicated. Shit ton of stuff. So we'll start off with New Japan. We'll cover all this stuff now. So the World Tag League final, the final night of the group stages saw Yoshitatsu and Billy Gunn win against Fale and the Bone Soldier. So but Fale and Bone Soldier or Bone Warrior, whatever the fuck he wants to be called, they lost every single match.
God.
Omega and Chase Owens beat Shibata and Nagata, costing them a chance of possibly, winning the group. Sonata and Evil beat Okada and Hashi. And then the main event saw Makabe and Honma beat Goto and Ishii. So because of that, and because they won over Sonata and Evil on the head-to-head, Makabe and Honma move on to the final. In terms of the actual main card in Miyagi for the final, Jushin Thunder Liger and Tiger Mask 4 lost to Taguchi and Dave Finlay in an okay match. Yujiro and Bad Luck Fale beat Hanare and Manabu Nakanishi in a shit match. Yoshitatsu and Billy Gunn beat Chase Owens and Bone Soldier with a shit match. Rowan Hansen beat Breaker and Race in actually a pretty good match with a fallout. And then Tenkoji and Nagata lost to Los Ingonobles de Japón of Sanada, Evil, and Bushi. And then Bullet Club came out. And Kenny Omega revealed the latest member is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. We'll get to this.
Telegraphed.
We'll get to this because that was looking awesome. And then we saw the card. Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi beat Shibata and Juice Robinson. So it was Goto also getting the win over Shibata, in which everyone's going, oh, fuck. That means Cody isn't. No. Cody isn't facing Shibata. No, please, no. Please, no, please. No. Then we had Tanahashi and Kushida versus Naito and Rush, which Naito and Rush won thanks to Hiromu Takahashi, the former Kamitachi, taking out Kushida. and then accepted Naito's offer to become the newest member of Los Ingonobles de Japón. So we've got now, I think, 14 stables that have about 59,000 people in New Japan alone. Each. Getting bloody complicated. Not as complicated as Dragon Gate Japan, but pretty close. Okada hit the Rainmaker on Page to get the win for his team, and him and Ishii beating Omega and Page. Although Omega took out Okada afterwards, hit him with a One Winged Angel. I said, see you January. Then the main event, the Guerrillas of Destiny versus Makabe and Honma. Makabe and Honma win. So first time ever that GBH, as they're known, Makabe and Honma, won the World Tag League. They won it last year and win it again. First one to sort of defend the title, if you will. And unsurprisingly, called out Tonga and Loa for a title match.
Of course, that makes sense.
We now have it confirmed. The full card for Wrestle Kingdom, Wednesday the 4th. We got the usual Battle Royal with the New Japan Rumble. Then we've got the Tiger Mask special. So it'll be Tiger Mask W, who may or may not be Kota Ibushi, taking on Tiger the Dark, who this time may or may not be ACH.
Oh, wow.
Thing is, Tiger Mask's setup for his costume is so shit, it's probably going to be a crap match, sadly. Which is annoying. The Young Bucks defend the junior tag belts against Romero and Beretta. We've got the 6-man tag gauntlet match for the never open weight 6-man tag belts. So Kojima, Ricochet, and Dave Finlay will be defending. So that's, I guess, Team Japan. Taking on Team Chaos of Ishii, Yoshihashi, and Ospreay. Team Bullet Club of Fale, Yujiro, and Hangman Page. And Team Los Ingonobles de Japón of Sanada, Evil, and Bushi. 2 teams will obviously compete at a time. The winning team then faces the next team, and until you've got one definitive winner. Then Cody Rhodes' debut is against Juice Robinson.
There's got to be a reason they're doing this.
Yeah, you're tuning into Wrestle Kingdom to see fucking Cody Rhodes versus CJ Parker. Do you see the fucks that I give about this match? It is none. It is a shame. Mainly because, you know, I actually noted down we have 8 world title matches on this card. You know, we've already had 2. Everything else is a title match. We've got the Ring of Honor world title on the line with Kyle O'Reilly defending against Adam Cole. I honestly wonder whether we're going to have a title change here.
We very well could.
The Guerrillas of Destiny defend their tag belts against GBH of Makabe and Honma. The junior heavyweight title defended by Kushida against Hiromu Takahashi, Kamatachi, whatever you want to call it. The never openweight title will be on the line with Shibata defending against Goto. Naito defends the IC title against Tanahashi. And in the main event, somebody that's called KO is winning, and no, his name isn't Kevin Owens. Although, if we were going to do a cross promotion, fuck yeah. Let's do Kazuchika Okada versus Kevin Owens versus Kenny Omega.
Versus Cassius Ohno.
Well, he ain't nothing to fuck with.
I want to see that. I want to see that match.
Can we just call him Kenny Ospreay? Yes. Can we change his name, please? that happened week end. I said it like that. Week, pause, end. Well, there is some New Japan shows, but I'll get to that because they're sort of just like Christmas shows or whatever. Nothing huge, substantial.
Right.
In terms of the Preston City wrestling stuff, I don't know what happened in Stoke-on-Trent. Nobody seems to know. I do know the Blackpool results, though. We had Chris Ridgway beat Joey Hayes, Jimmy J beating Ricky Knight, Yestin Reese defending the PCW title successfully against Danny Hope. James Storm beat Zach Knight. The big guy got the win over Lionheart. And Ashton Smith managed to beat Bubblegum, becoming the new Cruiserweight champion in Preston City Wrestling. Progress Wrestling had their Intercepted Angel show. Apparently, it was supposed to be in Manchester, but the venue double booked them with the rock band Ash. So, hence the Intercepted Angel name is based on one of Ash's songs in tribute to the fact that they're in Sheffield instead. So, the London Riots beat the New Nation. Tony Storm beat Bea Priestley. There is a God! Rampage Brown in his open challenge beat Banter Claus, which may or may not have been Dave Mastiff in a Santa Claus suit. Although it is worth noting in this, there was early signs of tension between the Origin team, between Cruz, Mastiff, and El Ligero, because Mastiff and El Ligero are having fun and banter, and Cruz is trying to be serious. Jimmy Havoc beat Marty Scurll in the no DQ match to become number one contender to the world title. FSU beat the Origin of Ligero and Cruz. More conflict between the Origin because Mastiff was wearing a drinks helmet and getting involved with a test of strength with partners on their shoulder, amongst other hijinks. Ligero also brought a box of Celebrations chocolates, which he was sharing with the bloody everyone. So, okay. Adam Cole beat Will Ospreay, which apparently was incredible.
Well, yeah.
My answer is I'm not surprised. And then Pete Dunne, accompanied by Tyler Bate, although he did get thrown out, beat Zack Sabre Jr. to retain the Progress World title. And then the ring announcer and co-owner Jim Smallman did say that they will be coming back to Sheffield because of how well they were received. And Chapter 41, Unboxing Live, will be December 30th, right at the end of the year. But Unboxing Live is like Mystery Vortex, which we'll get to in a bit. It's a mystery show. You're not going to find out what's on it. In terms of freelance wrestling, the six-way scramble was Alex Olsen, Darren Corbin, Kenny Sutra, Matt Cage, Space Monkey, and Stevie Fierce. Chris Castro wasn't in the match, so I guess that was not happening. It's worth noting Space Monkey threw poop at Stevie Fierce. Then he was trying to feed Stevie the poop, but then Space Monkey ate his own poo. And Stevie Fierce hit him with a kill switch for the win. So then Space Monkey selling and Ethan Page's music hits, who's with another man, and asks Space Monkey if he understands English. And he goes, yes! Everyone knows that Ethan Page does stuff that nobody else will, and met a man backstage who's brought him out. Apparently, he's Lorenzo Rose, Esquire, and he's here because Space Monkey is breaking the law because he cannot be in the ring endangering the lives of fans. And Monkey can't be there because he's a pet or a food or something. And the Cook County Board can't allow him to be there. And Monkey nods that he understands. And Lorenzo says, you can't wrestle anymore. And, he goes crazy. And Page says, no, I get it. He's breaking the law. He needs to be locked up forever. But what if somebody adopted the monkey, put him on a leash? And Lorenzo agrees that would be acceptable. But, there's a lot of paperwork and we can't do it. Oh, by chance, Ethan has all the paperwork. So now Ethan Page owns a monkey.
Who knew?
Puts the leash on him. Say again?
Who knew?
Puts the leash on him, promises to feed him and train him, ordering him to sit, and when that doesn't work, to kneel before him because Ethan Page is an actual supervillain.
Yes.
And then Sally Stitches comes out and makes the save and demands that Page let the monkey go. And then Ethan goes, "You're just a little girl. You know, if you want to tell a man who owns a monkey what to do, don't hide behind a mask like a little bitch." And she unmasks. And holy fuck! It's Heidi Lovelace!
Wow.
Except everybody knew that since day fucking one. You know, it's weird that Sally Stitches did a kneeling, you know, a sat down Hurricane Rana on her wrestlers when she finished them off. Literally everybody in the YouTube comments when they were doing the free shows were like, "Oh wow, Heidi Lovelace is in this," and everyone else in the know was like going, "Who's this? It's Sally Stitches. It's not Heidi Lovelace." And some of the idiots were going, "That's Heidi Lovelace." Not knowing kayfabe, you fucks. So, Ethan beats the shit out of her. Eric Cannon makes the save. And now we've got a triple threat with Page, Lovelace, and Cannon, which Page manages to win with a schoolboy on Heidi. Then Heidi offers a handshake. Eric declines. Offers again. Pushes her hand down. Puts a hand on her cheek and they kiss. The forbidden relationship between them is there. It's finally done. And we're never going to see Heidi again because that was her last match before she goes to the E. Damn it! The M Words retained their tag belts in the triple threat tag against Brew Baker and Toby Durst and Team Baker of Craig Mitchell and Matt Nix. Then after intermission, we had Christian Rose versus Shug D, which was violent as all hell, you know, crazy shit galore. Shug wins with a running knee. So he's gone. Christian Rose is gone. So Shug asks for his music to be cut and shouts out Papa Hales before asking if Christian Rose is still here. And says, "Oh, he's missing the best part. Nah. And then, you know, thanks everyone. A lot of people are leaving tonight and wishes them the best in their future endeavors. Shug D isn't going anywhere. He's a whole new mountain no matter who's champ. He's coming for the title. And what? Then we have Hornswoggle beat Kikutaro with a tadpole splash. Apparently, basically, Kikutaro, towards the finish, there was like some weird bit with like bottoms and whatever, weirdly. But the big spot was Kikutaro kicks Hornswoggle in the dick. Hornswoggle kicks Kikutaro in the dick. And then Kikutaro kicks the referee in the dick. But then afterwards, Hornswoggle says, you know, he watched Kikutaro travel the globe, making comedy wrestling popular, and it was a legit dream match of his. Thanks everybody for letting him check the match off his bucket list, and hopes to come soon. Kikutaro in turn thanks Hornswoggle for a great match, before saying 10 years ago on that day he wrestled in Ring of Honor, and 1 year ago he was part of the Wrestling Road Diaries free stuff at Freelance and promised to move to the US. And yesterday He officially got his green card and is a US, or in the US, living here. Wrestling in America changed his life. Lucha Vavoom changed his life by getting him a visa. Wrestling Road Diaries changed his life, and vows to survive wrestling in the US before thanking the crowd and telling them that he loves them. I mean, I wanted to cry, but then that happened. So then the freelance heavyweight title, Mustafa Ali defending against Velasquez and GPA. From what I've heard, pretty damn impressive main event. GPA winning with a small package. Afterwards, Ali hands the belt to GPA. He and Isaias raise GPA's hands. GPA and says, the title means so much to him, but he's got to make a point. The only reason it matters is because the freelance championship has become the most prestigious title in Chicago. Sorry, AAW. And then Ali gets to do a speech as well. Says that his wife's there as well, and she's getting it good tonight. Okay. Back in January, he told her for the 500th time that he was probably going to be done wrestling this year, but then there's this company called Freelance and liked it and told them to book him to the end of the year, but he'll be done at the end of the year. And then the Cruiserweight Classic happened. I'm just going to do this one show. Then the Dusty Classic happened. I'm just going to do this one show. And then WWE offered him a full-time deal. But then he had to drop everything by November 30th. And he said no. Because he wanted to do one last freelance show. Thank WWE for letting him come out one last time. Singled out a couple of guys, including Bryce, which I'm guessing was Bryce Remsburg, the ref, probably. And also Shug D. Thank his wife, friends, and family, and implores everybody to keep Freelance alive, no matter how his career goes. And, long live Freelance Wrestling. Jesus, that was a good show, from what I can tell. Might have to see if I can get the VOD of it. Beyond Wrestling, we had Lufisto beat Kimberly, with Kimberly getting an emotional send-off. So, yeah, she's gone as well. John Silver beat Chris Hero with a countering the pile driver into a cradle. The Spirit Squad beat EYFBO. Chris Dickinson victorious over Jeff Cobb. Matt Riddle beat Dan Barry with an armbar. Jonathan Gresham beat Ricochet. Taylor Hendricks and Alexis beat Jordan Grace and Deanna Parazzo. David Starr got the win over AR Fox. And then in his final match in the company, Brian Fury beat Donovan Dijak. So he didn't go out on his back, apparently. One I need to add, just for some big stuff that happened, Tier 1 Wrestling had their Resurgence show. The big thing to note about this, Davey Richards didn't show up because he was injured. I don't want to say this is a conspiracy, but there's a lot of times when Davey's booked for shows and then he isn't coming for various reasons, whether they're real or not.
He said he's going to retire next year is what he's saying, but I'll believe it when I see it.
That means he's retiring in 15 years, which means he's retiring tomorrow. So the show had to open up because there was no challenger for the title. They had to do a fatal four-way match to get a new number one contender, which Sonny Kiss won, beating Caleb Conley, Desmond Xavier, and Zachary Wentz. Then, at the end of the night, Sonny Kiss beat Rude Boy Riley to win the Tier 1 world title. And afterwards, Rude Boy put over Sonny Kiss. Kiss celebrated. And Darius Carter showed up. Cashed in his anytime title shot opportunity that he won on a previous show. Beat Sonny Kiss. Wished him a happy birthday. And is your new champion. Boom. Boom, boom, and assorted boom. Then CZW, Death of Cage. So the 6-man scramble became a 7-man scramble, apparently. With Dave Chris beating AL Fox, Tony Deppen, Zachary Wentz, Tim Dunst, Alexander James, and Jimmy Lynn. Greg Excellent beat Homicide with a GA Driller. The Dub Boys beat Johnny Yuma, and Kevin Martinson. This is fucking confusing because Johnny Yuma is Johnny Yuma. Kevin Martinson is Johnny Goodtime. For some reason, he's going by a different name. Also, they're never in PWG anymore.
He's going by a shoot name.
So I have no clue. Yeah, that's weird. Not Johnny Goodtime.
Did he sign a deal with Lucha Underground?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm reading that he signed with Lucha.
Mask thing or something. Shane Strickland beat Desmond Xavier with a package driver off his shoulders. New tag champs as EYFBO hit the squad, beat the Hit Squad. With Ortiz hitting a top rope splash, followed by Drastic hitting a 450. And then we have new tag team champions again, because Scarlett and Graves cashed in their Ultimate Opportunity contract and successfully won. Xavier and Zachary Wentz. So guess technically pulled double duty. Won the tag belts. Leo Rush beat Sammy Callahan with the Spanish Fly. New CZW champion Joe Gacy. Finally, CZW champion, beating Jonathan Gresham with a Rings of Saturn submission. Ricky Shane Page beat Danny Havoc when Page came off the ropes with a pile driver through a pane of glass that was bridged. And the Cage of Death, the bad guys of More Blood, Patricks and Crane beat Tremont, Janela, Cannonball and Claxton because Matt Tremont turned on his team. And then afterwards stood over the beaten Joey Janela. So I guess that means Janela is facing Matt Tremont, who sort of by default is Nick Gage. Probably.
In some
or
ways,
Zandig.
I guess you could see that.
Or Zandig.
No, it's Zandig.
Well, both, because he's had bloody matches against both of them.
Right.
Back at the Tournament of Life when Nick Gage had it. Which is weird. So, yeah. Matt Tremont turned! So then Evolve. 74 from Saturday in New York. Gulak beat Yaka. Dustin beat Chris Dickinson. Brian Cage victorious over Darby Allin. Cody Rhodes got the win against Ethan Page, cheating. So apparently he's heel against Ethan Page, who is heel. What the fuck?
That doesn't make any sense.
Although, interestingly, Cody did come out in Bullet Club gear. So I guess that's how it makes sense. Also, Ethan Page called him a bullet bitch. Yes, Ethan Page. That's what you should be in the E. Jeff Cobb beat Matt Riddle. Afterwards, Stokely Hathaway wants Jeff Cobb to be part of his dream team, which would also earn him an Evolve contract. Jeff Cobb only wants a title match against Timothy Thatcher, which, to be honest, considering how he keeps getting injured all the fucking time, somebody needs to pull the trigger on that bastard. Please. If he gets injured, even though he's holding the title, just before bloody WrestleMania weekend, don't say it's a conspiracy, but it's a fucking conspiracy. And then the main event, Fred Yehi and Tracy Williams retain the tag belts against Ricochet and Peter Casa in what's said to be a fucking incredible match. But wait, main event. Yeah, they actually had Hero and Togo as the main event. It was bloody ridiculous and awesome. And on the 75 show on the Sunday, we had Jeff Cobb beat Fred Yehai. Dickinson and Yaka beat Peter Kasser and Darby Allin. In turn, Dickinson and Yaka earned Evolve contracts, not by winning the match, but because of their performance over the weekend. Ethan Page beat Dick Togo. Chris Hero, who may or may not be nothing to fuck with, beat Dustin. Matt Riddle got the win over Ricochet and said to be another great match. And then Tracy Williams beat Drew Gulak. Afterwards, Gulak said, I clearly don't belong in this group. Oh, no, I think, yeah, the deal was they announced it the night before. If Gulak won, he'd be the only Catch Point member in the tournament to crown the first ever WWN champion. And if he lost, everybody else in the group would be, which was a bit handy because Chris Dickinson and Yaka came out and basically got recruited into Catch Point. So I think there's now like 4 or 5 people that are now in that stable. Holy shit. In terms of this weekend, there are a couple of New Japan shows. It's mainly just tag matches here and there. A few singles matches and whatever, but it's just building the whole, big stories of the main show. So you got Tanahashi and Naito on other sides of each other in tag action. Kushida and Takahashi in tag action. Okada and Omega in tag action. All that sort of stuff, just to really sort of build towards it. Dragon Gate Japan, this when's the 20th? Monday?
It is Tuesday.
They'll be having their final Korakuen show of the year. The only match we know is the Doi Darts Christmas Special 12-man tag with Brother Yashi, Jimmy Susumu, Jimmy K-Ness, Yosuke Santamaria, Yuka Yoshioka, and the rookie Doi taking on Hoya Watanabe, Monday Ryu, Don Fuji, Punch Tominaga, Yamato, and Jimmy Kanda. Then we get to House of Hardcore. Big weekend because they got 2 shows. Friday, they're at the ECW arena, the 2300 arena. Bell time of 8 p.m. Set for the card, unless some more matches have been added. Dan Barry and the mystery partners against Delicious, Kingston, and Marconi. And if Team Barry loses, they're all banned from House of Hardcore. What makes me think it's going to be Kikutara and the Brooklyn Brawler? Because they're all supposed to be part of the show along with Taya Valkyrie and Alex Reynolds. I just think it's obvious. Probably. Tony Nese versus Leo Rush, John Hennigan versus Phoenix, Sammy Callahan versus Brian Cage, and the first ever steel cage match in House of Hardcore sees Tommy Dreamer versus Broken Matt Hardy. And then they go to Yoppa in Maryland. Brooklyn Brawler and Kikutaro are also going to be that, along with Eddie Kingston and Sanjay Dutt and Brandon Scott and Vic Delicious. And the double Duprees. Is Renee still wrestling? Wait, Renee's still wrestling? I'm using the fuck out of that tonight.
Yes, you are.
Brian Cage 1-on-1 with Moose. Jessica Havoc versus Taya Valkyrie. John Hennigan versus Phoenix, because they're doing it again. And the main event, the Spirit Squad versus Tommy Dreamer and James Ellsworth.
Wrong.
Oh, James has got pulled out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's it instead then?
Drew. Okay. Here's the thing. So basically, what had happened was Dreamer went to Twitter, and Dreamer basically said that he's mad because of everything that happened on SmackDown, James Ellsworth has been pulled off the show. That's just what it says. He's been pulled off the show. Now, based on what he's posting on Twitter, I think his mystery partner is going to end up being Stevie Richards.
Oh.
But we can't say that for sure because nothing's been officially announced. So
is it Super Kick related then?
No, it's basically Dreamer posted a message about Stevie Richards 3 hours ago, and I'm curious if that's going to end up being the case. And I think it might be, honestly, because they haven't announced anything else. But I've noticed that both Ken Doan and Mike Mondo have took to Twitter and basically said, "You better find yourself a partner because we're ready for this weekend." And it'd be Stevie Richards, to be honest. Would it be great if it was Raven? Yeah, it really would be. It'd be great if Raven showed up at House of Hardcore.
The reason why he isn't on is because he's working a house show in Peterborough, Ontario.
Yeah.
That's why, apparently.
Oh, no, it is, but they're playing the storyline up.
Preston City Wrestling has got a free show this Friday. Featuring some of the new PCW Academy talent. It is technically free, but there are some premium seats that I believe are still available. Second row seats being £6 and front row tickets being £10. There are limited tickets available, though, so go to PCW's website, Preston City Wrestling's website, to find out. And they've also got Dashing Through the Snow this Saturday, even though it's not fucking snowing here. So I don't get that. In Bradford. At Flair's Reflex. That just sounds like a bad position in a yoga diary. Cody Rhodes is supposed to be on the show along with Matt Riddle and Ryback. That's all I know. The only match confirmed, at least when I made these notes last night, was Chris Ridgway versus Martin Kirby. So they're really sort of last minute booking there. PWX up in the Carolinas has got season deletings. So you can guess who's on this show. On the card, we've got the Revolt versus the Bravado Brothers in tag action in their final confrontation. Triple threat with Jason Kincaid, Timmy Lou Retton, and Joseph Vergao. Anthony Henry one-on-one with Darius Lockhart. Martin Stone taking on Ethan Case. The WXW Shotgun title defended by David Starr against Chip Day. The Ugly Ducklings take on OA4K. Tracer X defends the Innovative TV title against James Drake, I think. Even though the picture that it might be a vacated title, because the picture didn't really have somebody with a belt, so I have no clue. And the main event is Jake Manning defending the PWX World title against Broken Matt. Broken Matt. CWF Mid-Atlantic are having a show Saturday at the Crew Center in Matthews, North Carolina. A lot of Carolina stuff this weekend. We've got Nick Richards versus the real Joshua Cutzel. John Skyler one-on-one with Smith Garrett. Dirty Daddy defends the Rising Generation League title against Ethan Sharp, with Sharp's 3 years of the title eligibility expiring at the end of the year, so it's his last shot ever at the title. He's never won it. What makes me think he will? And then have to vacate it or something. Chet Sterling defends the Ultra J title against Roy Wilkins. The Worldwide TV title is defended by Eric Andrews against Keith Mack, who is from Matthews in North Carolina himself. And then the tag team main event, Eric Royal and Brad Attitude versus Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee. After the actions of Royal and Attitude at one of the last shows, they've ordered the tag team match to happen. And if Brad Attitude doesn't wrestle, he will forfeit his title match at the Battlecade show some point next year. Alpha One will be having one more crazy night up in Hamilton, Ontario. On the card, we got Casey Smedley versus Jade 1-on-1. Gregory Iron versus Young Miles. The 6-man tag with Jim Nye, the evil guy, teaming up with Joey Kings and Steve Brown to take on Space Monkey and Ethan Page and Will White. By the way, the whole, Ethan Page being, having Space Monkey on a lead won't be here because it's a different promotion, I think. Del Bruno defends the Zero Gravity title against Donovan Dijak and Shane Saber. We've got the grudge match between Heidi Lovelace and Ricky Shane Page. Hashtag Heidi's leaving. And Kobe Durst apparently against Michael Elgin. So I guess if he makes it for this weekend, I guess he will be heading to Japan in some shape or form. House of Glory 6th anniversary show at the NYC Arena this Saturday. New York. So good they named it too many times. Matt Travis, Leroy Green, Rude Boy Riley, Evander James and Good Hank Flanders all set to appear. Matches confirmed though. Smiley 1-on-1 with Nikki Heat, but they've still yet to announce a stipulation apparently. Sonia Strong takes on Violette. The New York Wrecking Crew in tag action against there's a 4-way match for the tag titles as the Broken Hardys defend against the Dudley Boys, EYFBO, and Private Party. And Broadway defends the Crown Jewel title against Leo Rush, and Anti-Gang Gone the world title against Eddie Edwards. This Friday, Shine will be having its next show. No listing yet of the card, which is a bit surprising because they normally do. All set to appear that are not confirmed in action yet are Priscilla Kelly, Malaya Hasaka, Vanessa Craven, Tessa Blanchard, Rachel Ellering, Candy Cartwright, Lever, Sue Young, Raquel, Santana and Allison Kay, as well as the tag champs of Jamie Jameson and Marty Bell. The main event, though, is an interesting one. It's a tag team war of Las Sicarias, of Ivelisse, Mercedes Martinez, Taya Trinidad, and ACR, taking on Team C4 of Lufisto, Amber O'Neill, Andrea, and Kennedy Brink. The key twist here is if Ivelisse loses the fall, she loses the title. And on top of that, whoever loses the fall must leave Shine forever. So there, the question is, who's going to the E? That's honestly a tough one. Because I wouldn't object to any of the 8 going to the E. And also complain about them going to the E. We'll have to see. And then arguably the big one of this week, PWG's Mystery Vortex 4 in Reseda, California. Although the tickets are sold out, I will mention standard tickets, whether standing room only or general admission, were $65 for this show.
Wow.
Front row was $85. The only match confirmed is the world title match with Zack Sabre defending against Marty Scurll. And as they list, as with previous mystery vortices, the rest of the lineup is a mystery. I will give a clue, though. Young Bucks. But they will also be doing a Toys for Tots collection. So super kick a toy towards them or something. Now, there's some interesting stuff in the latest bit of news from Dave that's just come through. Where should I start? Roadblock's apparently doing shit. Because there are flyers advertising 2 for the price of 1 on tickets.
It's not good. Not surprising.
Nope.
With Roman being in the main event, that's not surprising at all.
Naito was named MVP in Japanese wrestling in the Tokyo Sports Awards that was announced today, the 14th. Yuji Okabayashi and Daisuke Sakimoto were named Tag Team of the Year. I think that's Noah. I'm not sure. Kento Miyahara, the current All Japan Triple Crown champ, got the Distinguished Service Award. Katsushiko Nakajima, who's the current GHC Heavyweight champ, won the Fighting Spirit Award. Kenny Omega got Best Technique. Chihiro Hashimoto of Sendai Girls got Rookie of the Year. Io Shirai, who, shocked the world in Lucha Underground a few weeks back, who also held the Stardom title, the world title, for an entire year, was Women's Wrestler of the Year. And Eiji Izaki, also known as Hayabusa, who passed away in March, was given the Lifetime Achievement Award as well. Yoshitatsu is going to be heading to CMLL and starting up in February. Hulk Hogan will officially get his $31 million settlement because the federal judge approved Gorka's bankruptcy plan for the deal. Matt Sydal is back in America. It's arguable, but he'll never be able to go back to Japan again, probably. In some developments with the ITV stuff, they are trying to get all the people that they had on their show signed to them because WWE is coming after them. And are looking at UK exclusive deals, at least as it pertains to TV. The idea, and this isn't confirmed nor, in terms of show or what the plan is, but a working idea is to tape again in mid-February and film 13 episodes over a short time. Sandman's awaiting a number of surgeries due to ring injuries, including an artificial knee and an artificial hip. David Boy Smith Jr. underwent surgery this week to remove his tonsils. The situation with Sexy Star and Lucha's got interesting because they're back to backing Dorian Roldan with the idea that people who leave AAA may not be used, which would also now affect Phoenix and Jack Evans. And everyone's waiting for the decision, but there's also an issue with Sexy Star because she wants the box, and they're claiming that based on her contract, they feel that she needs their approval. And given that Phoenix's new name, Ray Phoenix, was trademarked by AAA even though it was never used, he's now changed his name to Phoenix El Rey. Changing his names all over the place. Oh wow! Did you mention about BJ leaving ROH as well?
No, I didn't have that information actually.
Apparently, BJ's been in talks along with Nigel about coaching in the Performance Center. Not just Nigel.
Oh boy.
Silas Young signed a 1-year deal with Ring of Honor, so he's going to be sticking around. The tribunal contracts haven't been renewed, but they could still be used just on a pay-per-appearance basis. Tigre Uno hasn't been used since the UK tapings 11 months ago. So they just paid him money to not show up at work.
WCW.
If only I did that. The current plan for the second set of Impact tapings will be now done in early March. So it will not be happening at the same time as WrestleMania.
Awesome. I could go.
TNA has told Sony 6 that they will do the contracted tour of India in summer of 2017. So hopefully that'll be happening. Cena was given credit for a ratings rise on SNL this week. They did a 4.8 in the metered markets and 2.3 in that key 18 to 49 demo, which was slightly up from the week before that and from a fortnight before. The ratings had fallen every week since the election. They got depressed. Finn Balor's targeting a return for WrestleMania. Billy, when asked about the Rumble, he said it's not impossible, but probably unlikely. WWE is trying to raise $175 million in debt financing. Apparently, working with JP Morgan. So basically, it's selling bonds, similar to how UFC got rid of its debt. Apparently, they're trying the 175 million to 201 million that they're attempting to raise would have to be paid back by 2023. That's a shit ton of a loss. So the stock market obviously went a bit down on that news. There's the Eli Drake stuff. Oh, wow. Another person they're considering to hire at the Bloody Performance Center is Johnny Saint.
Oh, wow.
Johnny Saint, the 75-year-old legend of British wrestling, has committed to being in Orlando for the next 6 months. Holy fuck. Okay, this is interesting. So the WWE scheduled a press... I've heard about this press conference happening, but we've got more details on it. It's happening at the O2 Arena in London tomorrow, Thursday. Which is probably related to the behind-the-scenes moves they've been taking in the US market. Holy fuck, I've just realized something. Are they announcing that London's hosting the Rumble next year? 2018?
Maybe not necessarily the Rumble, but they're hosting something.
Yeah, but they had that show in September that could have been a house show and they never did anything with.
Right.
It'd be something big. Believed to do with although it says it's believed to do with the various wrestlers they've been offering contracts to.
They're going to do British Boot Camp.
Yeah, they're going to be doing a European tournament in early January. Supposedly at a small arena. Newsflash, the O2 Arena is not a fucking small arena. So
that means O2 is definitely hosting a pay-per-view.
I don't know whether the show will be taped for a network or trying to get another television show on the UK, perhaps on a free-to-air station. Note, there are a couple of stations which are technically Sky stations that are on free-to-air. I wonder what they're trying to do. The ITV thing has caused WWE to make the moves in the market. The contract specified that the talent could work for any other groups that are not WWE full-time deals, but WWE would get first call on their services and can't work for any promotion that has television in America. So PWG, fuck yeah! Nixon Newell. Oh, wow. It's an interesting note on Nixon. Didn't realize this. So apparently the reason why she isn't going to be able to make it until April is because she's British and because of the visa issues and all that. 3 years ago, she won a wrestling contest in the UK to get a full paid expenses trip to Slammiversary. And now she's going to the E. Yes! After Goldberg's 2nd of January appearance, his next advertised slot is the January 23rd show in Cleveland, which is the Royal Rumble Go Home show, which is also already sort of confirmed to have Lesnar and Heyman on. The final Raw before WrestleMania will be in Philly.
Yep.
Before they head down to Orlando. Big Show, Mark Henry, Charlotte, Alicia Fox, and R-Truth went overseas to shoot footage of the tribute to the Troop stuff. That's why, I guess, none of them were on television this week, apart from Alicia Fox. But who gives a fuck about Alicia Fox? Yeah, so here's the confirmation. Heidi Lovelace has been signed up by WWE, as has Kimberly, as has Evie from New Zealand. Holy shit! Wait, so that means next month we get Heidi Lovelace and Kimberly in WWE, and then in April we get Evie and Nixon Newell. Holy fuck! Holy fuck! Additional fucks. Man. Sawyer Fulton's injury is serious enough that he's going to be out for several months, apparently. That's why he was written out of the stable. Apparently, Baron Corbin wasn't on TV because he won the Most Metal Athlete of the Year award at the Revolver Music Awards. The interesting thing is WWE wanted fans to vote for him. The 2 NHL players and the 2 UFC fighters that were also in the thing, nobody gave a fuck about. This is interesting. One of those errant things left at a house show meant we've got a new list of WWE rules that we know about.
Oh, yes, I have this picture.
Yeah, referees should not play a factor in finishes. It's important to keep their credibility. Charles Robinson and that shit. Remember that? Fuck. Please make sure all talent know not to go up on the ropes during their entrances unless they're Randy Orton. So does that mean when Becky Lynch does her thing, she's not? I guess that's why Finn Balor doesn't do anything off the turnbuckle now when he does the pose. Don't let talent stall too much. No talent promos. All must be approved by Michael Hayes or the producer. No one is to do the yay boo stuff except Cena. Roman Reigns is fucked then. What did he do? Use of tables, chairs, or other objects must be approved, and agents need to approve heels taking a walk and limit it to top matches. Please stop the match. If the ref's unsure if the talent's okay, get the ringside doctor to come in. If the doctor says the talent is unable to continue, stop the match, help the person to the back. If the talent wants to continue and the ref and doctor agree, they can continue without doing further damage. Then the talent should be able to get to their feet on their own, and then the ref can restart the match. Anytime a competitor's really hurt, the ref should go to the opponent and stand in front of him with the arms crossed. This is the sign that the match has been stopped. Please pass on to talent and referee. Do not give in to talent who want to suck it up and continue the match. The talent's well-being always comes first.
Unless they get a metal rod put them in their nerve.
Isn't that right, Robo? If the talent's opened up and you must stop the match, later in the show, if the cut is closed and the bleeding stopped, it's okay to send the heel back out to cut a promo, bragging about their win, and then send the babyface to the ring and spirit a 76 to them, make a comeback and hit the finish on the heel. If you do a ref bump during the match, have the ref bump to the floor and have a second ref come down and finish the match. Please do not have the ref that was bumped remain in the ring peeking to see when he should get up. In terms of Chris Hero, It's not a done deal, but it's already gotten to the point that he's gone through the medicals. As they're saying, they don't normally bring people back, but because of the reputation he's been getting on the indies, they're sort of going, yeah, we might actually want you. It's always good. Apparently, when Punk came up with the idea of the Shield, who were at first going to be his henchmen, the group was going to be Ambrose Rollins and Chris Hero.
That's exactly right.
Fuck you, Roman!
He said that on Cabana's podcast.
WWE wanted Reigns in the group because they believed he could be the next face of the company. It was a good way to feature him and learn working in matches with top guys. Hero was cut, and one coach there when he was cut noted being against the decision, believing that Hero was the best all-round performer in developmental at the time. That is the correct answer. And I think that's all the news so far, anyway.
That's it. The 2 pieces of information before we end tonight. So there is no current plans for a Slammy.
Shut up. Damn it.
There's no current plans for Slammies this year. Sounds like it is a possibility that the Slammies might be happening during WrestleMania week. But they haven't.
Oh, we're doing it old school.
No.
We're doing it old school. Wow.
And I hate to end on this note, but this is the last piece of news I have. The autopsy has been complete on the death of Jenny Lauer, and the death was caused by a mixture of drugs and alcohol.
Oh, shit.
It was accidental. More information should be available soon, but that's what we have thanks to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner.
Right.
I think that's the end of the show. I don't want to end on that. There's got to be some. We have to have more news. We don't have more news.
It's probably something.
There's nothing. So yeah. There we go. And this Sunday, Roadblock, Walking Dead End of the Line, 8 p.m. live from the PPG Paint Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're going to be covering that, and it's me and Ashley, and you never know, maybe some more elite are going to be joining.
There's somebody called You Never Know.
Podcast. Oh. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Pedro. Much appreciated. Shad Gaspard is in the news because I believe he stopped a robbery.
Yeah.
He stopped an armed robbery.
Full on actual crime time.
Yeah, apparently there was a robber that had a BB gun at a convenience store in Florida. And he restrained him until the authorities arrived. So good on Shad.
Damn.
Thank you. I didn't end on Joni news because that was sad. But thank you, Pedro, for that. We appreciate that. But thank you for coming back after Monday night.
Ooh. There are some little bits then I haven't noticed. I guess didn't get into the newsletter because they were too early or whatever. OTT Wrestling will be premiering on Flow Slam, the island-based promotion. They've got a show this weekend, but will be streamed on Flow Slam on December the 28th, which features some bloke called Ricochet versus some bloke called Will Ospreay. So that's happening. There's also going to be another event this weekend, which will be then broadcast on December 29th. So they're basically being broadcast on a 11-day delay. So they'll be airing 28th and 29th of December. That is Wednesday and Thursday, is it?
19th. Yes, 28th, 29th is Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah. So that'll be when it's on Flow Slam. Something on the UFC front. Apparently, there will be a new title being added. It was announced on ESPN last night that Holly Holm will be taking on Jermaine Randami to become to crown the inaugural UFC Women's Featherweight Champion. And that fight will headline UFC 208 at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Wow. So what? Fucking hell. So to pad out the card that has got nothing on when they're back in New York, they're making up another title. Which you know how it is. The more you add titles, the more people don't give a shit. Now that's wrestling booking, not just even MMA booking, isn't it, Owen?
Pretty much.
The really stupid thing is they literally created this title so Cyborg could compete in it.
Right.
Cyborg turned down 2 opportunities, saying that she needed to recover from the weight cut she endured before she destroyed somebody, which wasn't even a cut in weight, because she probably wrestled at the weight that she would be if she was at the bloody featherweight level. Because, Cyborg was the featherweight champion in Strikeforce and is the current featherweight champion in Invicta. So, holy fuck, this undecisive cunt clearly doesn't want glory. That might be a bit offensive, but fuck her. If she's asking about like that, just like, fuck it.
And I think on that note, that's our show.
Oh no!
Oh, what?
Guess who's on the pre-show panel?
Oh, no.
Sam Roberts.
I called it.
Sam
called
Roberts
it.
is on the pre-show this week.
I called that at TLC.
Yeah, but
yes, I did.
Yes. I approve of this. I approve of this. This is a good ending.
Yes.
Also, interestingly, it's worth noting, go check out Vice Sports after last week's very interesting article with Shane and WWE and Stephanie and all that stuff. This week they posted up an article about some guys called the Young Bucks. So you probably want to check that out. Also, apparently, the PWX season deleting show I mentioned earlier will be broadcast as an iPay-per-view on Sunday. So if you don't want to watch on the High Spots Wrestling Network, that is. So if you don't want to watch the Roadblock show, there you go. Stuff will happen. They've also announced that Dos Santos versus Stefan Struve will headline UFC Fight Night on February 19th up in Canada. And Vitor Belfort will take on Kevin Gastelum after his win last week in the main event of UFC Fight Night in Brazil on March the 11th. And I think that's all the new notes that's just come in.
All right.
A quick look. Yeah.
So that's our show.
Sam Roberts.
Yeah, you're again. WWE is apparently someone's listening, because once again, you're welcome.
I actually like Sam Roberts.
I do too. That's the reason why I suggested it.
Yeah, Peter Rosenberg, get the fuck up.
So, like I said, that's our show. Join us on Sunday for our Roadblock Popcast, Monday for our Raw Popcast, and back here next Wednesday for the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. And Popcast Network programming notes tomorrow. We got a sip and stack for you. Maybe we'll see what's coming up for tomorrow. Friday AJ's movie reviews. This is going to be a doozy. We'll tell you right now, Rogue One is on the air. Collateral Beauty is on there. Captain Fantastic is probably going to be on there. Ooh. And there's a couple of things that are possibly going to be on there. Manchester by the Sea and La La Land are postponed for the time being. Haven't had a chance to see them yet, so hopefully in the near future we're going to. We do have access to Manchester by the Sea right now. We're just waiting on Lion to get there so we can kill two birds with one drive. So we'll see what we can do with that. And Brandyverse is coming out this Sunday. So should be some fun stuff coming to finish out 2016. And a marathon filming day for AJ and myself, which is also going to include our 2016 final Academy Awards predictions with all the categories that's coming up in the next couple weeks. Who knows? Maybe some Halloween Horror Nights news is coming up very soon. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
What?
So, Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
Follow me on Twitter at Ash is my name UK. Gaming with Ash will probably be up on Monday if I've recovered from Rogue One. If not, it's weird because last week I did find some more sushi.
Oh boy.
Although, one, it's vegetarian sushi, which is a bit useless considering, sushi I thought was fish, but whatever. So it's weird. Now, like, the shop seems to be actually doing reduced sushi. So I've just got to try and find one that I haven't got, if I've got it. So there could be a impromptu Christmas eating thing.
More sip and snack from Ashley. Yay.
No confirmation on that, but when it happens, you'll find out.
Yes.
It may or may not be hiding the fact that it's Christmas and not much happens in gaming at Christmas. Then again, I could be on my PS4 playing games and streaming them live instead, so that could replace gaming with Ash, sort of, in Christmas week. I have to see how it goes by next Wednesday.
All right. So check out the SNS Radio Network, and there's some great podcasts on there. Check out Acer. His channel is the link should be in the description bar, along with the channels of Scott and Cleveland and Mr. Entertainment. They're in here. A link to everybody's social media is in there. Popcast Network is the word, not Grease. Popcast Network is the word, or words in this case, because if you want to find us on our
Facebook, you Hasbro.
You want to find us on our Facebook fan page, it's Popcast Network. You want to find us on Twitter, it's at Popcast Network. And if you want to check out our merchandise, it's Popcast Network at Zazzle. And finally, if you want to show your support, it's our Patreon at Popcast Network. So check that out. A lot of great content coming from the network for the remainder of 2016 into 2017 and beyond. So a lot of cool stuff is coming. So stick with it. We're going to have some fun this year. So that being said, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased once more this evening you have chosen a Popcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Oh my God. We've found Roman Reigns' new entrance music. Everybody hates Roman Reigns. Everybody hates Roman Reigns. Boo, 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 boo.